Hi, everybody. Bob Miller along. Fox, the Los Angeles Kings coming off an excellent win Thursday night in Chicago, which was a lot better than the way this trip started in Dallas.
Bob, it's safe to say the Kings made some corrections. I think two main changes, but both changes dealt with the forwards. Up ice, the Kings on the forecheck came in waves. They came in stages. So one outlet pass could not beat the forecheck. The Kings slowed down the opposition. And when the Kings forwards back checked, they came back and didn't try to do too much. They played their position, and it worked.
The Winnipeg Jets have won 3 in a row, and they're led by the highest scoring line in the National Hockey League right now. Keith Tkachuk, Alexei Zhamnov, and Teemu Selanne. Look at the points they've combined for this season.
If you went to a computer to design a dominating line, this is what you would come up with. It has everything. Tkachuk on the left side, power, drive to the net. In the middle, you have the playmaking and speed of Zhamnov, and on the right wing, Selanne. Speed, power, and a true sniper. But everyone's pointing to the consistency this year of Zhamnov. He's doing it every game, and he's making it work.
And they're all in the top 10 in scoring in the National Hockey League. The Kings won the only other meeting this year, 4-2. Coming up on Prime Sports, the Kings and the Jets.
Kings Hockey is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It's just plain smart to fly Southwest, the
Is a mean cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft, the cold one. You know the beer, you know the taste. With Miller Genuine Draft, hey, the world's a very cool place.
We're back at the Winnipeg Arena just moments away from the start of tonight's game. As the teams line up at their blue line, there's Yannick Perreault, just recalled from Phoenix for the Kings, where he had 51 goals, 48 assists for 99 points. Now with the national anthems, Cecile Brown.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red flare, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet waves o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our song command. With glowing heart we see thee rise, the true North strong and free from far and wide. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Cecile Brown with the Star-Spangled Banner and Oh Canada. In goal for the Los Angeles Kings, Kelly Rudy. You see his record. Kelly winning the last game in Chicago, now moving one game above 500. The goals against average, 3.14. Kelly Rudy very strong so far this season. And a rookie in goal for the Winnipeg Jets, Nikolai Habibulin. One game above 500. The goals against average, just over 3. A lot of credit going to that young man for the success so far of the Winnipeg Jets. The Jets are 2 games under 500, but of late, they put it together. The referees tonight, Don Koharski. On the lines, Dan Shakti and Jay Shars. And now with tonight's play-by-play, Bob Miller.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. The Kings beat the Jets 4-2 in Los Angeles back on January 28th. John Druce had 2 goals in that game, but the Kings have won only 1 of the last 6 here in Winnipeg. And the Gatorade opening faceoff rolls down in toward Nikolai Habibulin, the goaltender out of Russia, and he leaves it behind the net for Teppo Numanis. Now up on the right side, Keith Tkachuk clears it out to center to Jamnov, so the Jets with their high-scoring line out there now. Teemu Selanne tried to give it in front of Jamnov. Back together is Selanne in the corner. Checked there by Gary Curry. Puck is shot wide by Jamnov. Comes back on the right side. Shot from there by Mikulchik. And it comes off the glass up the center ice to Gretzky. Gretzky's pass. Left wing to Granato. Granato into the Jet zone. Shoots and a save by Nikolai Habibulin. And he hangs on for the faceoff. Barry Melrose paces behind the bench. Not dressed for the Kings tonight. Dennis Segurov, he had that 40-stitch cut in his face. Kevin Todd back in Los Angeles with a knee injury. Philippe Boucher out with a wrist. Tim Waters is back at Phoenix. And Matt Johnson is scratched tonight. Barry Melrose used to play in this building for the Winnipeg Jets at one time in his career. Very happy with the way the Kings played in Chicago on Thursday night to defeat the Blackhawks 4-3. Robert Long out now facing off. He's got Dan Quinn on the left side and Rick Tocchet on the right. Winnipeg Jets have won 3 in a row. That's their longest winning streak of the year. Puck comes out to center ice. Taken there by Daryl Sador. Tipped away and back to the King line where Sador bats it back out to center ice once again. And back to the blue line of Winnipeg is Darren Shannon. Flips it up to center ice. And poked away and picked up deep in the Winnipeg zone now. Darren Shannon on the left wing side. Throws it off on the right to Luciano Borsato. He flipped it up in the air. Was knocked out of the air by a high stick from Sador. And when the Kings touched it, the whistle blew.
There's head coach John Paddock, also the general manager here in Winnipeg, motivating his team to go back 4 games ago. Paddock sat out 5 regulars, brought some guys up from the minor leagues in Moncton from the American Hockey League. Out of the lineup that night were Domi, Dave Manson, Mike Eagles, along with 2 other players. So certainly the veteran had a seat on the bench. He was not happy, and since then the Winnipeg Jets are undefeated, winning 3 in a row. So sometimes that motivation does work. In the next game, he went back with a veteran, but I think everyone learned a lesson.
Face off to the right of Kelly Rudy. No score. Game just underway here in Winnipeg. Robert Long wins the draw. Sador gets it to Danny Quinn. Quinn clears it up to center ice. Tipped there at center ice by Neil Wilkinson and then sent into the Winnipeg zone. Back to get it, Stefan Quintal. Quintal checked in the corner by Robert Long. Long flipped it off the boards. Quintal got it again, but now pitching into Sador. Sador tried to hold it in. He took it away from Nelson Emerson. Pass goes into Robert Long. Long tried to give it to Quinn, but off his stick and played there by Neil Wilkinson to Thomas Steen. Steen gets it up on the right side to Nelson Emerson. Emerson to center ice with Dallas Drake. Tried to give it to Drake. Here's Quintal. Stefan Quintal in deep. It comes over down the left side. Dallas Drake with it behind the King net. Drake walks in front alone, shoots, and a save by Kelly Rudy. Everybody forgot about Dallas Drake, and he walked right out in front. And Kelly Rudy with a stick save. Jets drive it back into the King zone. Marty McSorley over to touch it, and we get an icing call here against the Winnipeg Jets, and McSorley pushes at Dallas Drake.
Dallas Drake getting it hard on the forecheck. Bob, the Kings sustained pressure earlier. Rick Tocchet will back up the defenseman Daryl Sador, who will come down and pinch. Now, defenseman, when he pinches, roll it through. You'll watch Sador. He can keep the puck in and sustain the forecheck. Stop it. Sador was here. Tocchet, and look at even Dan Quinn move to back up to the defenseman. So when you get all kinds of support like that, then you can sustain the forecheck. Look at Sador. He keeps it alive, puts it back in the corner. The Kings didn't score on this one, but Bob, you see the team working together as a 5-man unit. It's an aggressive play when the defenseman pinch, and Daryl Sador read the situation. Actually, I even think that Rick Tocchet yelled to Sador, I'm back, I'm back. Sador pinched down, kept the puck in.
Los Angeles Kings have lost only 2 of their last 8 on the road. 4 wins, 2 losses, 2 ties in that stretch. Faceoff will be in the zone. Not dressed for Winnipeg tonight. Igor Ulanov, Brent Thompson, Craig Martin, Mike Eagles, John LeBlanc, and Ravil Guzmanov. Kings with it. Rob Blake, he was questionable at the start because in Chicago he had a groin and knee injury. Offside is called here, and Blake is in the lineup for the Kings tonight.
And also in the lineup we showed you before the game started, Yannick Perreault. Look at these numbers, 99 points, 51 goals, 19 power play goals. All of those totals lead the International Hockey League. 51 goals at Phoenix is a record for the Roadrunners. His style, a pure scorer. I talked to Chris Schnell before the game, Bob. He also pointed out Perreault can do it in both ends. He's really underrated. He's looking here to put some offense on the board in the NHL.
Yannick Perreault played 13 games with Toronto last year. He had 3 goals and 3 assists. Puck chased in by Yannick Perreault. Perreault behind the Winnipeg net. Tried to pass out in front. Got checked there. McSorley holds it in. Throws it behind the net. Taken away by Daryl Shannon to the right point. Blake drives it in to John Druce. Druce tried to center it. Broken up by Dave Manson. Druce with it again on the right wing. Druce into Yannick Perreault. Back to Druce. Tipped away by Manson. And the Winnipeg Jets still try to clear. Can't do it. Kings keeping the pressure on. Druce to Perreault. Yannick Perreault down in the corner. Leaves it there. Now it's batted out of midair. Right back to Yannick Perreault. Perreault. And we get a hand pass called here. Took him quite a while to blow the whistle on that hand pass, but finally a play was whistled dead.
Not much change on that last shift by the Kings. Good forecheck. John Druce in there.
Just wanted to tell you about Yannick Perreault. This is a funny story. They had his jersey out this afternoon, ready to put his name on it. And 5 of the Kings, including Perreault, thought they should autograph it, that it was going to be a jersey that should be autographed for somebody, and they all signed it, including Yannick Perreault. So when we got here tonight, one of the equipment men here in Winnipeg taking some type of fluid to get the autographs off Yannick Perreault's jersey so he could play in the game tonight. Here is Teppo Numminen sending it back to the blue line, and McSorley intercepts, gives it to Tony Granato. Granato flips it across the line, taken away there, and left side, Kachuk shoots, stick save, rebound up the middle. McSorley quickly clears it out to center ice and back into the Winnipeg zone. Right toward the goaltender, Hobby Boulin. Gets back to get it. Pass by Numminen comes all the way down to the King zone. We're going to get an icing call here as Marty McSorley goes back to touch it. 16:32 to go in the first period with no score.
When you fly to Las Vegas, you can bring your spouse along for free because friends fly free on Southwest Airlines. Or you can bring along your partner, Jack. Tickets are fully refundable. Just make round-trip reservations and buy your ticket at Southwest's regular, low, unrestricted fare, and a friend flies with you free anywhere we fly. Hey, you can even bring along your boss. Friends fly free on Southwest, the low-fare airline.
Motor Trend magazine tested 16 of the hottest sports cars to see which one gives you the most bang for the buck. And the winner, Camaro Z28. Motor Trend said the Camaro's specs are awesome, its price is incredible, the result inevitable. Camaro racked up the best performance score in Motor Trend history, and now your Chevy dealer is ready to give you more bang for your buck. Get the one the pros rated #1 in the bang for the buck competition, the Camaro Z28 at your Southern California Chevy dealer now.
No score here in the first period. The Jets are the most penalized team in the NHL. And we'll see if that benefits the Kings if they get a lot of power play chances here tonight. Puck is taken by Teppo Numminen. No score in the first period. Numminen for Winnipeg. Up to center ice. Puts it easily into the Kings zone. Keith Tkachuk trying to get to it. He gets checked as the puck comes around to Tony Granato. Tkachuk tied for 10th in scoring in the NHL. Puck taken by Yari Curry. Now Granato tried to give it to Curry. Gretzky in front. Can't get a good shot. It deflected off the skate of Mikulchik. And back to center ice comes Tkachuk. Over to Alexei Zhamnov. Zhamnov, right side. Nice move. Shoots and a stick save by Kelly Rudy. Puck comes back to the right side. Mikulchik in front. Shot by Solani and a save made by Kelly Rudy on Timo Solani. And the Kings iced the puck, but the Jets had the best scoring chances of the game right there.
Solani picking up the puck right in front of Kelly Rudy. And Bob, I think it was a smart play by Rudy to just come out and force Solani into something Solani did not want to do. He took away the room. The puck gets to the front, and then Solani picks it up. You see, he does not control it. So Kelly Rudy slides over the two pads. You saw right there how Rudy kind of angled his pads, and that prevented Solani from lifting it over the goaltender. I think if Kelly had stayed in position that time, he would have given Solani too much room to shoot at. Solani, a true goal scorer at top speed. I think he may be the fastest skater in the NHL. The acceleration is there. At the same time, Solani, he protects the puck so well. Very strong skater.
Solani 5th in NHL scoring, and Zhamnov is 4th in NHL scoring. Kings move it up to the blue line, tipped away there, and back down in deep into the Kings zone. Tipped in there by Igor Korolev. They got him from St. Louis. Now the Jets forecheck, but Blake with a back behind the net. Throws it toward McSorley. Into the corner, though. McSorley throws a check there, and Korolev knocks him down and pulled him down. And along the boards, McSorley with it, cleared it out to center ice. Neil Wilkinson back to get it. Backhands it into the Kings zone and up out of play over the glass.
Bob, you just mentioned the Winnipeg Jets, the most penalized team in the league. There's the head coach, John Paddock. He had kind of a funny statement today talking about that. A few of the players were saying, hey, we've got to stop it. You see the numbers right there. The players are saying, hey, we've got to stop these stupid penalties. And John Paddock says, hey, well, no, I kind of like it that way. I think John Paddock likes his team, known as perhaps a little dirtier than most teams. They take a couple pennies. Dave Manson, he has the glove in your face, the elbow. John Paddock feels that they have to have that chippiness to them. Otherwise, they're not going to be as successful.
Yeah, with Solani, who said we take too many stupid penalties. We got to stop that. And then Paddock, as you said, Jim, said, well, I'm not going to tell him to change his style of play. Jets have won 3 in a row. Don't fix it if it isn't broke. Puck comes down in behind the net to Stefan Quintal. Randy Burridge chases him. Jets try to clear up the middle, intercepted by Conacher, but his pass was down to center ice. Pass right up the middle to the blue line, and the Kings held it in, but Conacher couldn't make the play. We have no score here in the first period. Bob Miller along with Jim Fott. Here's Thomas Steen. Steen across the line, still with it, hangs on, then backhands it in deep, back behind the King net, and over to get it is Robert Long. Long checked along the boards, gets up from Tocchet. Tocchet's pass, tipped up to the blue line. Michel Petit to Tocchet. Now Petit across the line. Tried to center it. Manson broke it up. Dan Quinn knocks it down out of midair. Quinn still with it. Left wing side. Got it from Robert Long. Gives it along. Back to Quinn. Quinn, left wing. Quinn over in front, trying to beat it to Sador, but out of his reach. And the Winnipeg Jets. Daryl Shannon tried to clear. Couldn't do it. Here's Robert Long on the backhand. Spins to the forehand. Didn't get a good hard shot. Save made by Javi Bulin. Still no score in the first period. Dallas Drake up to center ice to Nelson Emerson. Back checking comes Dan Quinn to take it away. Twins pass, intercepted by Nelson Emerson. Emerson's pass to Dave Manson, tipped away from him. Now Jamnov clears it out to center ice. 13:39 left to go in the first period. No score in the game. Puck driven in deep in the Winnipeg zone, and Daryl Shannon over to get it. He's checked down the right wing corner. Puck is taken now by Yannick Perreault. Eric Lacroix through the check. Gets taken away. Clear to center ice. Broken up by Rob Blake. Blake hangs on. Feeds it to John Druce. Druce, offside Kings at the Winnipeg line. Take a look at what's on tap on our Prime Sports telecast tonight. In the first intermission, Jim will talk live with Rick talking to the Kings. We'll have a feature on Marty McSorley and the first period highlights. In the second intermission tonight, we'll bring you up to date on the NHL Out-of-Town scoreboard and then have all the information about the honors that will be going toward Dave Taylor in the month of April and the second period highlights. That's what's on tap tonight. Get a look at the King bench. Kings 6 wins, 11 losses, 4 ties so far this season. Face-off outside the Winnipeg line, and former King Randy Gillen draws it in deep, and the Winnipeg Jets start back out. We've got 13:13 to go here in the first period. Gillen just got his first point of the year last night, an assist, as the Winnipeg Jets played here last night and defeated Dallas. Puck is in the left wing corner of the King zone, dug out by Ty Domi. Domi checked by Yannick Perreault. Puck comes in deep behind the net, taken by Rob Blake. Blake for the Kings. Check, throws it behind the net to Marty McSorley. Kings have got Yannick Perreault up front at center, Eric Lacroix on one wing, and John Druce the other. Here's Perreault across the line, gives it to Druce. Druce tried to feed it to Lacroix, but it's broken up, and back come the Winnipeg Jets. Ty Domi, 3-on-2. Domi across the line, hangs on, drops to the Quintal, and his shot is blocked by Druce. Ty Domi with it again. Domi backhander save, rebound, comes to the blue line and out to center ice. Still no score in the first period. Kings with it. Michel Petit. Petit gives it to Gretzky. Gretzky across the line. Gretzky to Curry. Shoots, saved by Javi Bulin. And he hangs on for the faceoff. No score, first period.
Looks like the perfect house. Everything that you've always wanted. And some problems that may surprise you. Well, that's why you need a realtor. You see, realtors know what to look for and how to avoid big mistakes. They'll even help find the right financing, the kind that you get at Great Western. You know, buying a home is tricky, so let Great Western and your realtor help, because without them, it's real easy to get fooled.
Some automobiles win design competitions. Some win races. The Toyota Camry Coupe has won the most coveted prize of all, the hearts of its owners. They see it as a reflection of Camry's unmatched reputation for quality, style, and refined performance. But most of all, they see it as a reflection of themselves. Introducing the redesigned Toyota Camry Coupe.
Prime ticket announcers have the David Rickey look. Designers of custom wardrobes for men. David Rickey and Company, California, New York, and the world.
Well, thank you very much. There's a nice greeting for us up here in Winnipeg tonight. We hope you're enjoying the game on Prime Sports. No score here in the first period. Puck is sent to center ice by Teppo Numminen, taken away by Daryl Sador. Now Petit drives it into the Winnipeg zone. And the goaltender, Javi Bulin, drove it around the board to the right side, taken away by Yari Curry. He flipped it up in the air, and it's played there by Oleg Mikulchik. Off on the right side to Solani. Couldn't, yes, he did. Got it to the blue line. I was going to say couldn't clear, but to get control of it, Granato had to bring it out across the blue line. Now Granato again. Granato tried to give it to Gretzky. He didn't see it. Here's Timo Solani with it. Solani over to Jamnov. Jamnov's pass back to Solani, broken up, and Teppo Numminen with it. Numminen sends it down deep into the Kings zone. No score with 11:20 left to go here in the first period. Kings clear it out to center ice. Jets changing their defensive tandem on the fly, and Daryl Shannon drives it into the Kings zone. Puck comes to Jamnov on the left side. He is spun around, and no penalty. Fans upset over that. And Jamnov is shaken up. He's slow getting up to his feet. Alexei Jamnov, who's tied for the goal-scoring lead on this team with 12, slow going over to the bench. This would be a blow to the Winnipeg Jets. He got taken down and no penalty was called. Here's Igor Korolev. Korolev shoots up high and off the glass. And a penalty coming up here against the Kings. Hooking is the call, and the Winnipeg Jets will go on the power play with no score here in the first period.
We're going to take a look at one of the plays earlier in the shift. This play not called. Jamnov coming in the forecheck. Michel Petit kind of reaches out. There's no call. You see the referee, the bottom right of your screen. And then later, Igor Korolev gets one step there on Daryl Sador, and Sador reaches out with a stick. Hooking is the call. Bob, I was at the game last night watching the referee, Don Koharski. He did referee the game last night, the Jets and Dallas. And one thing I picked up on with the referee, I think he really reads the play well when he feels a player is diving, and he really lets it go. And that last time, certainly the Russian players are known for diving. I think maybe Jamnov caught a knee in the thigh. It looked like a Charlie horse, but he looks to be all right.
Winnipeg Jets, look at that power play. Second best in the league. The King penalty killing, tied for 10th. Thursday night, the Kings in Chicago met the best power play team in the league, the Blackhawks, and held them without a power play goal. Let's see what they do here with the second best power play team. Shot by Manson, knocked down in front. Puck comes back over to Shannon, up the middle to Numanen. Numanen gives it to Timo Solani. Solani hanging on to the blue line to Numanen. Tip there and diving is Granato, but he can't clear. Now a pass by Manson is deflected off of Pat Conacher back into the Winnipeg zone.
Great job by Pat Conacher. Use of his stick, taking away the passing lane, but also with a poke check. So even the body position of Pat Conacher emphasized because he gets the stick in the way.
Here's Dave Manson in the slot. Manson on his backhand. Shoots. It's deflected wide. Winnipeg on the power play. No score first period. Kings clear it all the way down into the Winnipeg zone. The Jets are led by Tkachuk and Jamnov with 6 power play goals apiece, and we're getting a misconduct penalty here.
It's a 10-minute misconduct against Dave Manson. He had a few words for the referee. I think when Manson carried the puck in earlier, he took a little bit of a hook from Rob Blake. It was not called. And on the way back up the ice, Dave Manson had a few words. And Bob, that's back. We talk about what happens to the Kings, but Koharski did ref the game last night, and Manson, as usual, involved in the penalty situation. So you have to wonder whether the referee kind of thinks back to last night. Hey, Manson was on me last night. He did not take anything tonight. Calls it early misconduct, and there's Dave Manson. 9:53 remaining in the first. With that 10-minute misconduct, he goes right to the dressing room.
Well, you can call right now and get season seats for next season, the 95-96 season. Call 310-419-3800. A season seat representative is standing by right now to give you all the information you'll need. 310-419-3800. So Manson takes himself out of the game, and he had a few more comments as he got to the bench and headed to the dressing room. But the Winnipeg Jets maintain the power play. They got 1 minute left on it. Nelson Emerson lost his balance as he came in the zone. Stefan Quintal holds it into Emerson. Emerson checked in the corner, gets it to Dallas Drake. Over to Thomas Steen. Steen quickly to Jamnov. Excuse me, at the blue line. Shot by Jamnov, knocked down, loose puck, shot wide by Nelson Emerson. And Gretzky clears on his backhand. Kelly Rudy had his back to that puck, too, and the shot deflected off Gretzky.
And a couple of the defensemen for the Kings playing goaltender right in the crease, just trying to block the puck.
And the Kings clear again. Marty McSorley sends it all the way back into the Winnipeg zone. 24 seconds left to go in the Kings penalty to Daryl Sador. No score in the first period. Nelson Emerson with it now for the Winnipeg Jets. Up to Thomas Steen. Steen for Winnipeg in his 14th season. Puck comes across the line, tipped away there, cleared to center ice. Here's Tony Granato, but it's tipped away by Jamnov. Granato with it again to Conacher. Conacher throws it in deep in the Winnipeg zone. 2 seconds up to go on the King penalty, and now the Kings are back at full strength. Up to center ice, Dallas Drake. Drake sends it across the line. McSorley breaks it up and drives it back into the Winnipeg zone. No score with 8.5 minutes left to go in the first period. Winnipeg Jets back to get it. Oleg Mikulchik moves it up to center ice to Numanen. His pass is going to be taken away by Marty McSorley. McSorley's pass hit a skate, comes out to center ice. Seppo Numanen back to get it. Gets it to Chris King. King's pass going to be chased down by Randy Burridge, and Burridge sends it up to center, but taken there by Mikulchik, and he drives it right back behind the King net. McSorley lost control of it. Now on the right side, saved by Kelly Rudy on the shot by Chris King. At the left point, Numanen holds it in. Numanen's pass Taken by Ty Domi. Domi gives it to King. King pass. Gillen with a shot. King with a shot, and it's tipped wide. Randy Gillen had the first shot, and Kelly Rudy made that save. Jets had a good chance on the rebound. King in the corner now. Checked there by Rob Blake. And Blake will move it up to the blue line and out to center ice. Winnipeg Jets, Randy Gillen sends it back in.
Bob, you see how effective a contrast can be. You have the speed of the big line for the Winnipeg Jets, but then they throw the forecheckers out there. The guys like Domi, Gillen, and Chris King, they pound the body, and that can be effective too.
Kings chase it back into their own zone. Here's Daryl Sador, Luciano Borsato right behind him. Kings can't clear. Here's Darren Shannon, throws it in deep, now in front. Korlev, and he gets stopped by Kelly Rudy. Out to the right point, Neil Wilkinson holds it in. Loose puck. Oh, in front. It just rolled away from Darren Shannon. He was right in the slot and couldn't control it. Here's Robert Long. Long up the center ice. No score. First period. Robert Long driving. Cut off by Neil Wilkinson. Passes up the middle. Sador shoots. Save. Rebound. Save again. On the rebound by Dan Quinn. Daryl Shannon clears it out to center ice. Now it bounces back into the Winnipeg zone. 6:43 left to go in the first period. No score in the game. Winnipeg Jets have outshot the Kings 12-5 so far in this period. Up to center, Dan Quinn. Quinn tried to feed Tocchet. Taken away by Solani. Timo Solani stepped around Quinn. Up the middle, Kachuk. His pass knocked down in front of Zhamnov, and he couldn't get a good shot. Solani with it again. Right side, up the middle. Solani shoots wide to the left. He was going for the lower left-hand corner. Puck taken by Quinn to Tocchet. He tips it into the Winnipeg zone. And this will be icing against the Kings. But the Winnipeg Jets have the momentum right now here in the first period.
Everyone's being so nice to me.
Honey, stay and watch the game. I'll go mow the lawn.
I mean, really nice.
Dad, I want to change my curfew from midnight to 11.
Too nice.
Everybody wants to be your friend because friends fly free on Southwest Airlines.
Hey, neighbor.
Make reservations and buy your round-trip ticket at our low, unrestricted fare.
Look, John, in my professional opinion, you're simply the nicest guy I've ever met. In fact, you're my favorite patient.
Friends fly free. Anywhere Southwest flies.
I heard about it Saturday night. Next day I'm at the supermarket and it hits me. Like I could totally afford all this cheese.
Okay, here's the kitchen window, right here.
Take a look at the Winnipeg Jets Korlev right here. We talk about the Kings over back checking. Start it up and watch the third forward chase the puck carrier all the way into the corner. Stop it right here. Korlev is chasing the puck, but in behind him, wide open is the point man. Lung will pass it off the boards right to Daryl Sador. There's an example of over back checking.
Play underway here in the first period once again. Stefan Quintal back behind the Winnipeg net, but his pass comes up over the glass and out of play. There's John Druce. He had 2 goals in the Kings' victory over Winnipeg back in Los Angeles on January 28th.
Bob, I really think he's enjoying his role right now, especially playing with Eric Lacroix. Tonight, Yannick Perreault is in the middle, but Druce and Lacroix do a great job forechecking. They keep it very simple. The first man in has one thing on his mind. That's take the man and create loose pucks. The second man comes in to pick up the loose puck.
Yannick Perreault on the draw. The puck comes out to Blake at the right point. Blake moving in. Blake shoots. Stick save by Hobby Bullen. The puck comes to Randy Gillen. Gillen up the center ice, and it rolls away from him. Taken by Lacroix. He drives it back behind the net. Stopped by Hobby Bullen for Stefan Quintal. Quintal tried to clear and got it to the blue line. Now it's out at center ice and driven right back in. No score in the first period with 5:28 to go in the period. Kings into forecheck. It was Eric Lacroix. He gets knocked down. Puck taken by Dallas Drake. Drake for Winnipeg. Tipped away by Yannick Perreault. Drake with it again. Over on the right side now to Stefan Quintal. Off the line, Chris Snell just recalled from Phoenix. Gives it to Rob Blake. Kings recalled Snell, Perreault, and Sean O'Donnell. Kings with it. Granato shoots, save Hobby Bullen. Rebound in front, cleared to the blue line, but not out. McSorley held it in. Over to Curry, to Gretzky, to Granato. Fanned on his shot. Granato with it again, but it's going to be taken away by Dallas Drake. Now to center ice, and backhanded in by Teppo Newman. Into the King zone, over to get it to Jerry Curry. Curry dropped it off there with 4:43 left to go in the first period. Puck comes to Marty McSorley. Now to Gretzky, who tips it out to center ice. Kings have been outshot 13-7 here in the first period. Here's Teemu Selanne. Had a severed Achilles tendon last year, and the puck taken away by the Kings. Gretzky at center ice, checked by Newman. Gretzky still with it. Feeds it over to Dan Quinn. Quinn, left wing side. Cut off by Mikulczyk. Quinn throws it down in deep. Gretzky and Curry come in for the Kings. Gretzky with it. Gretzky in front. Tried to bang it off a skate. It came right back to him. But now Keith Tkachuk clears it up to center ice. It bounces ahead to Selanne, but offside called. And we'll be back in just a moment.
In this dirty old part of the city where the sun refused to shine, people tell me there ain't no use in trying.
Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. The cold one. We gotta get out of this place. You know the beer, you know the taste. With Miller Genuine Draft, the world's a very cool place.
For me and you.
Half the fat. We like that.
Half the fat? I thought it'd be smaller. That's a good taco.
I like the taste. They're so full of good stuff. How'd you do it?
Taco Bell introduces Border Light Tacos. 4 new tacos with all the taste and half the fat. Try them and you'll be a believer too.
Great.
Border Light.
Talk about standing up all the time. Watch McSorley, very aggressive here. Stand up on Selanne. He has the support of Jari Curry. Curry gets in there, but the reason he can stand up, stop it. Dan Quinn, one of the forwards, was back to help out. You see him. If McSorley misses, Dan Quinn is in perfect defensive position. Again, the Kings working well as a 5-man unit.
Off the skate of Robert Long. Now it comes up to center ice to Ty Domi. Domi checked by Petit, and puck taken by Robert Long. So the Kings, Jim, I know you felt they played positionally very well in Chicago to win that game 4-3 and continuing here tonight.
Bob, it just seems like there's more comfort with the Los Angeles Kings. I don't really want to take it as far right now to say confidence. That'll come if they pick up a few more wins, but certainly the comfort is there.
Kings hockey is being brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold. And by Taco Bell, proud sponsor of the Los Angeles Kings. Great food at great values. Cross the border.
No score here in the first period with 3:42 left to go, and Dan Quinn out to take the draw for the Kings against Randy Gillen in the Winnipeg zone. Quinn with Long and Tocchet up front. Petit and Sador back defensively, and off the draw it came right toward Habe Bullen. He swept it into the corner. Sador pitches in. Sador checked it on the boards. Kings dig it out. Robert Long at the right point. Long gives it back to Tocchet. Now Sador. Sador fakes a shot. Threw it softly into the corner to Tocchet. Tocchet with it. Gives it back to the right point to Sador. Sador shoots. Save off the blocker by Habe Bullen. Tocchet with a drive from a sharp angle and a save by Habe Bullen. The puck taken by Tkachuk.
Bob, seemed like a weird play there by Rick Tocchet, but very important to hit the net. Otherwise, it would have went wide and may have come out of the zone, but Tocchet put it on net.
In the right wing corner. Check thrown by Tocchet. Sador with it. Sador with a shot. Knocked down by Habe Bullen. In the corner now. Tocchet goes forward again. No score first period. Winnipeg Jets. Randy Gillen digs it out. Gives it to Ty Domi. Domi on the right side. And gets help from Stefan Quintal, who throws it in. And over to get it is Daryl Sador. Sador for the Kings. Checked by Ty Domi. Robert Long in to get it. Long behind the King net. Feeds it off down to Michel Petit. Ty Domi in to check in. Ty Domi, a big favorite here in Winnipeg. Now the puck comes to Tony Granato. Drives it in the Winnipeg zone. 2:35 left to go in the scoreless first period. Chris King to Ty Domi, and he simply bats it down into the King zone. Chased down by Rob Blake. Blake takes his time. Cleared it off the glass right near the referee. Don Koharski all the way down the Winnipeg zone. Mikulczyk back to get it. He gives it to Teppo Newman. Newman pass up the middle off the stick of Blake. Comes down toward Kelly Rudy. King goaltender slaps it out to center ice. Puck comes into the Winnipeg zone. Newman breaks it up there. Now in the neutral zone. Wayne Gretzky backhands it across the line, but Newman back to get it for Winnipeg. And Mikulczyk for Zhamnov. Alexei Zhamnov. Comes across the line, had it tipped away there, but not out. Mikulczyk at the right point. He throws it down to the right wing corner to Jamnov. Jamnov hanging on to it there. Jamnov with 4 goals in the last 3 games. Can't get a shot. The puck comes back into the Winnipeg zone. 1:39 left to go here in the first period. Teemu Selanne out at center ice. Now taken away by John Druce of the Kings. Gives it over to Yannick Perreault, the King rookie on the ice. Now Druce with it there. Druce is checked. Petit gives him some help. Eric Lacroix to Yannick Perreault. Perreault with 51 goals in the International League. Shoots and a save by Javi Bulin. Not much on the shot. Puck comes to Teemu Selanne. He tipped to the center. 2-on-1 for the Jets. Selanne. Selanne moving in with Borsato. Selanne to Borsato. He shot it wide. Luciano Borsato right in the slot. Shot it wide. Selanne gives it to Quintal. Quintal throws it in with 1 minute to go in the period. Kings take it away. Eric Lacroix. We're still scoreless. The Jets have had some great opportunities in this period. Neil Wilkinson takes it away at center ice. Wilkinson to Borsato. Borsato shoots wide to the right side. Rebound. Quintal pinches, holds it in. Quintal throws it around the board. 41 seconds left to go in the first period. Kings trying to clear, can't do it. Neil Wilkinson. Wilkinson left side. Checked there. Put it behind the net. Chased down by Igor Korolev. Korolev on the right side. His shot blocked. Kings will be able to clear to center. And Sidor puts it on the shot right at the net of the goaltender, Javi Bulin. He gives it to Wilkinson. 20 seconds left to go in the first period. Luciano Borsato with a great chance and shot it wide. Ralph Cowie for the Kings. Now it comes up to Robert Long. Long to Tocchet. Tocchet tips it across the line, and Mikulczyk back to get it with 6 seconds to go in the first period. Here's Teppo Numminen. Numminen gives it to Korolev. He puts it into the Kings zone. That's going to do it. That's the end of the first period. No scoring in the period, but the Jets had the better opportunities, and they outshot the Kings 13-10. No score at the end of one. Coming up, Jim Fox will talk with the Kings' Rick Tocchet.
Just another night at the disco.
It's the AIDS Dance-a-thon, benefiting AIDS Project Los Angeles, Saturday, April 22nd. To register, call 466-9255.
So dance.
When it comes to getting my oil change, it's basically a no-brainer. I mean, I always use Pennzoil. If you don't keep something lubricated, it's not going to last.
Now with the revolutionary Pennstar molecule, Pennzoil clings to moving parts. Works like liquid ball bearings.
It's showtime, baby! My Pennzoil's 4 to the Final Four. Winners up for 2 to the Final Four. 86,000 other prizes. Get details where you find Pennzoil. It'll be awesome, baby!
Get a professional oil change with Pennzoil. Win a trip to the Final Four. Details at Grease Monkey.
Inside every one of us is an athlete with a thirst for the game going on around us. It's life, and if you play hard at it, you get thirsty. That's why we make Gatorade. Hey, life is a sport. Drink it up.
There are no prizes for giving someone a reason to smile. No ticker tape parades for unlocking life's little mysteries. But to the men who give their best every day, we offer our best. Gillette Sensor XL. Spring-mounted blades and microfins to set up your beard. And Gillette Series Aftershave Conditioner for extra comfort. Sensor XL, the world's best shave. And sometimes that's its own reward. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Because
because the new Accent combines a spirited self-tuning engine, a responsive multi-link suspension, advanced dual airbag technology, with an uncommonly low sticker price, it's kind of hard to avoid the spotlight. The all-new Accent from Hyundai, now introductory priced at $8,079, only at your Hyundai dealer.
We're back live at the Winnipeg Arena, and after one period of play, you can see it right there. No score between the Kings and the Winnipeg Jets. And I just talked about a low-scoring first period. With me right now, the leading scorer on the Los Angeles Kings, Rick Tocchet. Rick, first of all, I want to talk about tonight's game in the sense that, yeah, the Winnipeg Jets are going to get scoring chances. They have players like Solani, but to me, and I've used that word comfortable, it seems the Kings are a little more comfortable. Would you agree with that?
Well, you know, I don't know if the word comfortable. We're trying to find consistency in our game, and I think, you know, from game to game, you don't know what the Kings team's going to show up. You know, we're having problems, especially at home. On the road, it seems like we're comfortable. We find we don't have to put a show on for anybody, and it seems at home that I don't know what it is. Our intensity isn't there as it is on the road.
The last week or so, the last 4 or 5 games, you've been playing on a set line with Robert Lung and Dan Quinn. Do you think that helps at all with that consistency?
Yeah, I enjoy playing with those two. You know, I know Robbie Long's been up and down the last couple of years, but he's going to be a hell of a hockey player. Handles the puck really well. And Danny Quinn's a shifty guy who can get the puck to me. Just as long as I go in front and I get the puck there, you know, I'm happy with my line mates.
You mentioned in front of the net, and I've watched you all season. I watched you through your career. And certainly I don't want to give you any secrets right here, but you do have tricks to get open in front of the net, especially on the power play. What have you learned over the years to get open?
Well, you know, you're in front, you spin off people, you try to, you know, kind of get inside position like in basketball.
Right.
Things like that. I think a big key is when I'm going good is when you see the play develop, the puck's in the corner, goes back to appointment. I'm already moving to the net, and I already got position on the defenseman. If a defenseman gets position on you, with the defense in the league now, they're so big and strong, it's tough to get by them. But if you can get inside position, you know, the only way they're going to, you know, you're going to get a chance or they're going to haul you down.
Talk about the line again. The forecheck seems to be working so well. Do you talk much out there, or is it just a reaction?
Well, you know, exactly like you're saying, you have to talk. Definitely, if you're open or you have time, you yell. But, you know, I know sometimes I have the puck in half boards. You know, Robbie Lang will be in the slot and Quinner will be behind the net. Things like that, small things where when you do get rid of it, if a man's on you, your partner's there and it looks like it's a set play, and it is. Those are the small things that make our line go good right now.
Well, it's going well for the Los Angeles Kings. Rick Tocchet, leading scorer. Rick, thanks very much for stopping by.
Thanks, Foxy.
After one period of play, the Los Angeles Kings and the Winnipeg Jets are scoreless. Coming up next, we'll take a look at a man on a mission, the Kings defenseman, Marty McSorley.
Get into Luxor, Las Vegas by entering under the Sphinx's belly and through a boat, which is really the lobby, and then past the Talking Camels by the Nile Riverboat ride and up this elevator, which moves at a 39-degree angle, and drop your stuff off in your room and go to the Secrets of the Pyramid, which takes you to the past, present, and future, and then jump into the pool for a brisk swim because it's only a gazillion degrees outside, and head to the spa for a massage, only to wind up inside a flight simulator. And if you're not getting into it by now, do yourself a favor, buddy, and check your pulse.
Now at Pep Boys, get any 4 35,000-mile Cornell 800 all-season tires at an incredible low $99.96. That's right, any size, any set of 4, just $99.96 at Pep Boys now. No matter what you drive, Pep Boys motor oil meets or exceeds virtually all manufacturer's specifications. Now only 79 cents a quart, just $9.48 a case. That's right, 79 cents a quart, $9.48 a case, only at Pep Boys.
Oh.
I have to get up early tomorrow.
Yeah, me too.
Well, good night, Lisa.
Good night.
Hey, come on. Miller Lite Ice. For the taste that goes all out when you're out.
I would have been here earlier, but I had to drop off. Lisa?
Miller Lite Ice. The night is young.
5 seconds left on the clock. Van Exel to Lynch. 3, 2, 1.
How about a game of one-on-one? If you want to play like the pros, then join the Future Lakers Club, sponsored by McDonald's. It's almost like being on the team. You get lots of great Lakers stuff, and you can even attend our special members-only skills clinic with the players. For details, call 310-419-DUNK.
It's a fact that smoking can cause premature aging.
Hey, Cliffy, what's up?
That's Jeff Francis, who started smoking in junior high. He's a sophomore now.
The Carl's Jr. Famous Big Star is now just 99 cents. A big charbroiled patty with the stuff you love for an unbeatable 99 cents, but only at Carl's Jr.
Paul's clearance sale must end soon. Save up to $800. No payments, no interest for 1 year on every set at Paul's, the king of big screen.
I am the king.
At the end of one period here in Winnipeg, no score between the Kings and the Winnipeg Jets. Kings defenseman Marty McSorley is in his 12th year in the NHL. He's become a valuable, versatile performer, but it wasn't always that way.
When Wayne Gretzky was traded to the Kings in the summer of 1988, Marty McSorley was thrown in as an extra, but Marty quickly became a fan favorite.
While I was playing in LA over the course of the 5 years, we were really trying to grow the game, expanding it. I think that there was players who felt a responsibility to the game in LA and trying to make it grow and be one of the big sports in Los Angeles. And I think that we had accomplished a lot.
After a brief hiatus with Pittsburgh, Marty returned to the Kings during the middle of last season.
Coming back, you know, there was unfinished business yet to do. And
Warehouse shopping concept has arrived in the men's clothing business, and 3-Day Suit Broker is the original suit warehouse. They buy from manufacturers worldwide. They call it 3-Day because they're open only 3 days a week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And at 3-Day Suit Broker, you'll always pay less than half what you'd pay at department stores or at men's discount clothing stores. Guaranteed.
3-Day Suit Broker's newest store is now open in West LA. For directions, call 800-SUIT-BROKER.
Your perfect dream house. To find it, you'd think you'd have to spend countless hours scouring the city. But in fact, that ideal home can be found without ever leaving your living room. Whether you're in the market to buy or just a casual viewer, Century Channel's Real Estate Showcase offers you the convenience of touring the widest selection of LA's finest properties, all from the comfort of your own home. The Real Estate Showcase, every day at 8 a.m., noon, and 6 p.m. on the Century Channel.
Investing. It sounds simple enough until you get into it. With thousands of investment choices, it's easy to get confused. Wouldn't it be nice if there was someone you could talk to? An expert who could show you the way? Well, there's a Great Western Financial Securities Advisor at your local Great Western branch. And that's just a few doors away.
He was a giant of a man and a friend to none. When he rode into town, he blocked out the sun. Said, I'm hungry, Jack, need a change of pace. Make it big, make it good, wipe that smile off your face. Outlaw Burger.
I took a quarter-pound patty, onion rings, melted cheese, big strips of bacon, and that barbecue sauce. Brought him to his knees. He cried, "I gotta have one, Jack." I said, "You better say please."
How's my burger?
I'm at my Chevy Geo dealer. Just $199 a month to lease that great-looking Geo Prism, right? Right, he says. Yeah, but I don't want payments till I'm old and gray. How much a month for 36 months? He says $199 a month. Okay, how much more for air conditioning and a stereo cassette? He still says $199 a month. Well, what about an airbag? Make that 2 airbags. He says dual airbags are standard. I say sold.
Get to know Geo Prism with the $199 a month GMAC Smart Lease at your Chevy Geo dealer. It's the regular season finale for the Bruins and the Ducks. Tonight, live at 7:30 on Prime Sports.
Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down. Oh no, I've got to keep on moving.
At National Car Rental, we keep you moving. Because at National, green means go.
The Kings and the Jets coming back out onto the ice here at the Winnipeg Arena. No score, the end of one period in tonight's game. And we'll go to the Pennzoil highlights, and they'll feature the goaltenders. 22-year-old rookie Nikolai Habebulin in goal for Winnipeg, faced 11 shots.
Square to the shooter right here. Watch the quick feet of Habebulin up and down to make 2 saves in a row on the rebound. The big goaltender has quick feet.
At the other end, Kelly Rudy, second straight game for the Kings, faced 13 shots.
This is the experience of Kelly Rudy coming through. The puck comes to the front. Now watch Rudy. He knows he has to get across, and he comes out, stacks the pads, and just smothers the puck against Teemu Selanne.
In that first period at times, both teams had good forechecking formation.
And we're going to take a look at the Kings forecheck, kind of textbook. Eric Lacroix, first man, put pressure and take the body if you have a chance. Start it up right here. Now watch Lacroix. All he has on his mind, forget the puck. Hey, make contact. And what happens? The textbook second play, stop it. Second man comes in and picks up a loose puck. Again, that's 2 players working together well. Yannick Perreault jumps on the loose puck. This play, nothing much happens on it, but that's the way you work the forecheck.
As we take a look at the Southwest Airlines stat sheet, no score, shots favor the Jets. Scoring opportunities, we mentioned how many good opportunities Winnipeg had, and they had 8 of them to 4 for the Kings. Only 1 power play, that to Winnipeg, and 12 minutes in penalties, and one of those a misconduct penalty to Dave Manson of the Winnipeg Jets.
Kelly Rudy was a busy man in the first period, 13 shots going at Kelly Rudy. Look at that road record. Rick Tocchet talked about it. Rick Tocchet feels the team plays better because they don't try to entertain, they don't try to do too much. Kelly Rudy's been on top of his game for most of this season. He's seeing a lot of shots at times, but he's very confident. He wants to see shots.
Gatorade second period face-off ready to take place. Wayne Gretzky against Alexei Zhamnov, and the puck taken by the Kings, Rob Cowie. Cowie's pass at center ice deflects to Tony Granato. He flips it into the Winnipeg zone. About 20 members of the Kings Booster Club here tonight. On the right wing, Teemu Selanne. He walks in. He goes behind the net. He hangs on and threw it out in front, and Cowie flipped it up into the crowd. The crowd is groaning because when Selanne put on the Jets on the right wing, he had some room and didn't take the shot.
Watch the move here on Rob Cowie. Cowie in the defense and started up right here. And we'll stop it as Cowie tries to turn. Stop it right there. Look at Rob Cowie. He's kind of leaning over because he's losing his balance. He did not recognize that speed early enough. He does go down to his knees. From that point, Selanne had a chance to take it in, decided to go around the net. And Bob, with Rob Cowie, there's Selanne. So much straight ahead speed and acceleration. But I have to talk about Rob Cowie, Bob. He went down to his knees on the last play. He was injured in the last game against the Chicago Blackhawks. Kelly Rudy down in the crease. We're working on a pad. There's 77 Rob Cowie. He had a Charlie horse. He was hit on a forecheck. What happened? Rob Cowie wears a brace on his knee, and the brace was jammed into his thigh. That's what caused the Charlie horse, and maybe that's what happened there, Bob, on the plate. His leg can seize up, and he couldn't get the crossover working.
This past summer, Teemu Selanne drove rally cars in Finland under the pseudonym Ted Flash. Well, he was Ted Flash on that play coming down the right wing. Shot by Zhamnov is wide to the left. We have no score. Second period just underway. Puck comes around to Granato, and he tips it out to center ice. Loose puck played by Yari Curry. He's ridden out of the play by Keith Tkachuk. Now Granato touches up, and an offside against the Kings. Well, from here, the Kings' longest road trip of the year continues. We'll greet you at 4:30 Monday live from Maple Leaf Gardens. Kings and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Then the next night to the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit against Steve Yzerman and the Detroit Red Wings, live at 4:30. And then home on Thursday night, Brett Hull and the St. Louis Blues. Next Thursday, the Great Western Forum. Tickets for that game are available. Forum box office, Ticketmaster, and the Kings slap shots. Face-off outside the blue line of the Winnipeg Jets. Luciano Borsato facing off with Robert Long, and I think Long might have gotten a high stick in the face as he goes to the bench right off of that face-off. Borsato, he drives it hard around the boards, comes off on the left side, held in by Darren Shannon. Jets with it, Shannon behind the net. Shannon had Borsato right in the middle. Shannon still with it. He tried to give it a Korolev, tipped away. Puck comes to Dave Manson. Manson back now after serving his 10-minute misconduct. In comes Dan Quinn behind the net, didn't get it. Darren Shannon with it for Winnipeg. He's checked by Daryl Sador. Over comes Igor Korolev. He's spun around by Dan Quinn, and the Kings still don't clear. Korolev right side, shoots, save, and caught in the glove of Kelly Rudy. And then Korolev got his stick up into the chest of Kelly Rudy, and the Kings are upset over that.
Korolev was trying to whack at a rebound. Kelly Rudy reached out with his glove hand and smothered it, held on for the face-off. Turnover in the Kings zone. The Kings up the boards, trying to get it out. But you see what happens, even when you make a mistake going up the boards, you only allow a bad angle shot. There was Korolev taking a whack at the play. Kelly Rudy's upset, so is Daryl Sador. Rick Tocchet got in there. Interesting story, Bob, with Korolev. A lot of credit going to Zhamnov, obviously fourth leading scorer in the National Hockey League. But Korolev and Zhamnov grew up together in Moscow. They played together since they were 10 years old. Korolev coming over from St. Louis. A lot of people feel that, hey, as the best friend of Zhamnov, he makes Alexei Zhamnov feel comfortable here in Winnipeg. He has someone to talk to all the time. Korolev, even as a youngster, known as the hard worker. Zhamnov, he's the skilled guy. He puts the puck in the net.
More bad news for the Kings now. Rob Blake, strained groin, will not return to the game tonight, so the Kings lose a very valuable defenseman again here tonight.
We talked about it earlier, Bob. Rob Blake went down in Chicago with a knee injury, kind of wrapped his leg around the post. So you come out tonight, you have a bad knee. At times, other areas try to compensate, and maybe the groin for Rob Blake was not as strong as he'd like it to be. Barry Melrose trying to get his team going. Not a bad first period, not a bad start to the second period, but I'm sure he wants to see the Kings get more sustained offense.
The other night in Chicago, the Kings were down to 4 defensemen. They were seeing a lot of ice time. And Rob Blake got hurt in that game, came back and tried it one more time, and I mentioned earlier tonight that he was doubtful for this game tonight. He tried it here, but has gone out with a strained groin. No score here in the second period. Stefan Quintal with it across the line, trying to give it to Nelson Emerson, tipped away from him, and out to center ice by Yannick Perreault. Perreault up front along with John Drews and Eric Lacroix. Now at center ice, here's Yannick Perreault. Perreault, his pass to John Drews, too hot to handle. Comes in deep in the Winnipeg zone. Stefan Quintal over to get it. Quintal throws it in deep. Perreault with a check on Wilkinson. And in the Winnipeg zone, the Jets start back out. Quintal up at center ice. His soft pass going to be taken away now by the Kings, Michel Petit. Petit up to center ice, tipped by Eric Lacroix into the Winnipeg zone, and Neil Wilkinson back to get it. 17:43 left to go in the second period. Puck taken by the Winnipeg Jets, Neil Wilkinson. He gets it up to Nelson Emerson, and he chips it off the boards back to the King line, and Marty McSorley back to get it. McSorley sends it up to center ice. Nelson Emerson knocked it down. Back into the King zone, and Yari Curry back to get it. Nice article here in the Winnipeg papers about Yari Curry. They said, you know, Wayne Gretzky has gotten a lot of credit, but don't forget Yari Curry. He has had such a great career offensively and defensively in the NHL. Here's Alexei Zhamnov. Zhamnov to Tkachuk. Tkachuk in the slot, shoots, and a stick save by Kelly Rudy. Not a hard shot, but it came through some traffic. Tkachuk with it again. Zhamnov ran into him. Here's Teemu Selanne. Selanne, top of the slot. Selanne, stick handles, pulled down by Curry. No penalty. Puck comes out to center ice.
With all that speed, Teemu Selanne is dangerous. Every time he gets on the ice, he can take it wide, and that last time, coming right to the middle with so much speed.
McSorley wraps it around to Granato, and he tips it out to center ice. No score here in the second period. 3.5 minutes gone by in the period. Puck taken by the Kings. Here's Chris Snell. Snell sends it ahead toward Dan Quinn. Quinn and Newman go for it in the Winnipeg zone. Puck is tipped by Newman. Back up on the right side to Teemu Selanne. Solani out of Finland, across the line. Solani with it. He's checked there. Still has it. Tipped away and out to center ice, cleared by Conacher.
Bob, there was an example of the power of Solani. He was skating, having the puck. Rick Tocchet leaning on him all the way. Rick Tocchet, 220 pounds. Solani maintained his balance.
And Quinn couldn't handle this one off the board. Taken by Dave Manson. He fires it back into the Kings zone. Michel Petit over to get it. Winnipeg is outshot the Kings 15-11. We're scoreless in the second period. Ty Domi tried to throw it in front, taken away by Petit. Petit to center with Conacher and Tocchet. Here's Michel Petit, and the Kings are offside. Conacher on the right wing. No score, second period. We'll be right back.
It will reshape attitudes and turn heads. It's the all-new Toyota Tercel. It's about style, inside and out. It's about safety, like dual airbags, and meeting 1997 side impact standards today. These are the times. This is the car.
2.9% financing now available on the all-new Toyota Tercel.
Every year, one credit card gives you something other credit cards don't. Only the Discover card offers you Cashback Bonus Award. Cash. Over $500 million paid so far. And there's no annual fee. So carry the Discover card and improve your cash flow. It pays to Discover. Accepted wherever you see the Novus Network sign.
Recalled from Phoenix, Chris Snell, an outstanding defenseman. Talked to him before the game. He told me about Yannick Perreault. Watch Perreault on the faceoff. Clear-cut draw. He wins it there to the backhand. That's another example how Schnell pointed out about Yannick Perreault. Yeah, you score all those points, so everyone thinks, hey, you're all offense. Perreault does the other things well.
Here's Dave Manson at center ice for Winnipeg. Sends it left side to Chris King. King chasing it down the corner. He gets checked there. Throws it in toward the back of the net. Michel Petit broke it up. No score, second period. Long pass to center ice. Jets back and Manson fires it right back in. It's up on the ledge, bounces down toward Petit. He's taken out of the play. Puck is picked up by Randy Gillen. His shot blocked into the corner. Kings will control in their own zone. Quinn shovels it up ahead to Robert Long. Here's Long, left side, across the line. Long to Quinn. Quinn in deep. Quinn behind the net. Wrap around, trying to bank it off the goaltender, and we got a penalty coming up here. Hooking against the Winnipeg Jets. Ty Domi going to go to the penalty box, and the Kings will go on the power play for the first time tonight. There you take a look at Ty Domi.
He was working hard on the back check, pulling down Rick Tocchet. Great job by Tocchet, driving to the net. Kings head coach Barry Melrose leads us to Discover Card Trivia tonight. Which current coach in the NHL was a teammate of Barry Melrose here in Winnipeg? And that was back in 1980-81. So the Winnipeg Jets, the records over there are kind of up and down, but they've spawned a few coaches to go behind the bench. The Kings get their first power play opportunity of the night. Ty Domi off for hooking, I believe. May have been interference. It was away from the play. Hook was the call. You see the power plays on the season. The Kings tied for 10, trying to get it to 20%. The penalty killing for the Winnipeg Jets, not as good as their power play, down at 15.
Face-off will be to the left of Nikolai Habibulin, the goaltender for Winnipeg, and Wayne Gretzky gets set for the face-off. He's over on the right wing right now. Curry will take the draw. McSorley is on the left side, and then Granato and Cowie are back. Kings' first power play of the night. So the Winnipeg Jets have been pretty disciplined. They take their first penalty. Here's a shot by Cowie up high and over the net, and played by Stefan Quintal. Quintal tried to clear. It went off McSorley, and now is cleared by Keith Tkachuk. Rob Cowie back to get it. He's back at the point with McSorley. Gretzky up front along with Curry and Granato. Rob Cowie drives it into the Winnipeg zone. Puck comes to Teemu Solani. Solani centered around the board. Rob Cowie kicks it down in the corner. He got away from Stefan Quintal, taken there by Granato. Granato lost it to Quintal, but he gave it away to Curry. Curry to Granato, now to the right point to McSorley. McSorley, he tried to give it over to Granato, plays it off the board, sends it behind the net to Gretzky. Gretzky with it there. Gretzky pass, tipped away. Gretzky with it again. Gretzky behind the net, hangs on. He's got Granato out in front. Granato couldn't get it. Curry over to Granato, backhander wide to the right. Puck comes now to McSorley. No score, second period. McSorley into Gretzky. Gretzky behind the net. Gretzky waits. He's got McSorley in front now. A shot by Cowie and a save. And the rebound picked up by Teemu Solani. Solani right wing with Kachuk. Solani tried to give it a Kachuk, broken up by Cowie. Boy, that would have been a hard pass. He really slapped that pass over toward his left, and it was broken up, and the Kings come back to center ice. Here's Curry across the line, but way behind the play. We had Solani and McSorley tangled up with one another. And the whistle finally blew, but I don't think we're going to get any penalties out of that.
Yari Curry doing a great job back-checking on the last play, but I want to go back to a funny situation on the last face-off. Watch Yari Curry, the face-off man. We'll just roll it forward here. We'll try to see him call the shot. Look at Curry, looks over his shoulder. Right there, stop it. Look at Curry pointing. He's telling Rob Cowie, hey, I'm going to win the draw to you. Well, what happens? Yari Curry goes in, puts the stick down. Hey, perfect pass right to Rob Cowie. Cowie took it to the middle, got a shot on goal. He did it all that shift. He went to the front of the net. And the last play, he back-checked hard to break up the pass from Solani.
Always a man of his word.
That's right. Hey, he would never lie.
No score here in the second period. Kings on the power play for another 30 seconds. Robert Long. Long out of the Czech Republic. Dropped it back to nobody at the blue line and then skated away. He thought somebody was there, and here's Nelson Emerson, but he lost his balance at the King line. Sador gets it off on the right side of Michel Petit. Now up to center ice. Here's Robert Long. Long gets it to Dan Quinn, but offside called against the Kings.
Winnipeg Jets standing up at the blue line, forcing the Kings and Robert Long to make one more move. That forces the people away from the play. Offside. Exciting action coming your way. UCLA back in action. That's tonight at 7:30 p.m. It'll follow the Kings. The Bruins, #1 in the nation. Ed O'Bannon and my favorite, Toby Bailey. My #1 ranked UCLA Bruins, Bob. How would they match up against Wisconsin?
The Iowa
maybe?
Hawkeyes.
Yeah, Iowa. Okay, we'll go with them.
Look out for Iowa. I read that headline the other day. They're coming on strong right here before the tournament. Dan Quinn ready on the draw for the Kings. Randy Gillen will take the draw for the Winnipeg Jets. 13:26 to go in the second period. No score in the game yet. The Kings with 10 seconds left on the power play win the draw. Sador to Petit. Petit shoots, and a save by Habibulin. Petit again. His pass left side to Long, to the blue line to Sador. Sador back to Long. Long, and he lost it. Power play's over, and the Jets have an outnumbered attack. Domi out of the penalty box. Shoots. Saved by Kelly Rudy. Rebound. Sent back to the blue line and intercepted by Quinn. Quinn to Tocchet. Tocchet left side, and an offside called against the Kings. The Kings almost got caught with Domi coming out of the penalty box.
Everyone knows that El Pollo Loco makes authentic tacos al carbon like they do in Mexico, only now they're bigger.
75% bigger, because Americans love stuff big. Really big. The bigger, the better. So we made our new tacos al carbon, well, bigger. With more marinated flame-broiled chicken or steak, more fresh cilantro, more fresh onion. El Pollo Loco's new, larger tacos al carbon. Our taste is huge. Our 99-cent price is little.
Our bird is waiting.
El Pollo Loco!
Light ice. The night is young.
One of the rules in hockey, if you have a chance, head man to the puck to someone in front of you. The pass up to Ty Domi. Domi coming out of the penalty box. He's in there so much. Maybe this is a set play for the Winnipeg Jets. He shoots it on the slap shot, goes tweeners against Kelly Rudy, but Rudy gets a piece, and the shot goes wide.
Both teams at full strength. Robert Long went to the King dressing room, but Peter Miller, the equipment manager, went with him. So probably not an injury, just an equipment problem for Robert Long. Kings with it. Yannick Perreault tried to give it a Randy Burridge. Burridge in deep. Perreault comes in to help. Now tipped it to Burridge again. Burridge in the corner. He's tied up by Stefan Quintal. Yannick Perreault back to get it. Perreault for the Kings in the slot. Perreault hangs on. Dropped it back to the blue line to McSorley. McSorley in the slot. His shot deflected. Down in deep. Perreault goes for it again. Gets it over to Randy Burridge. Burridge in the right wing corner. Tried to give it back to Perreault. Bruce comes in. Checked there, and the puck cleared by Thomas Steen. 12:15 to go in the second period. No score in the game. Chris Snell back to get it for the Kings. Kings without Rob Blake. Went out with a groin strain after playing in the first period. Curry ahead to Randy Burridge. Burridge diving, poked it ahead, but the Winnipeg Jets take control. Pass to the King line by Newman, broken up by Snell. Now over to McSorley. McSorley to Gretzky. Gretzky across the line. Gretzky gets it to Granato and off his stick. Granato throws it back in front, deflected back to Granato. Granato on the right side. Put it behind the net, but Jamnoff had Gretzky tied up. Puck is taken now by Mikulchik and cleared by Solani. Kings with it. Petit drives it in and a save made by the goaltender Javi Bulin. Mikulchik with it. Gives it over to Keith Tkachuk. He cleared it up to center ice. Knocked out of the air with a high stick, but played by the Winnipeg Jets. Picked up by Keith Tkachuk. Here's Tkachuk with it. Left side. Steps across the line. He's out of Melrose, Massachusetts. Kings take it away. Back they come across the line. Gary Curry drop pass to Lacroix to Curry. Curry right side to Petit and off his stick. Petit throws it around to the left point to Sador. Sador in the Winnipeg zone. Sador sends it around to Gretzky. Gretzky's got Lacroix in front. Gives it for Lacroix and he hit the goalpost. Looked like the shot hit the goalpost off the goaltender and off a skate. Now a shot by Sador and a save. Rebound rolled right over the net out in front. And the Winnipeg Jets can't get to it. Here's Petit giving it to Curry. Curry, right side, checked by Keith Tkachuk from the Jets. Newmanen brings it to center. Teppo Newmanen takes his time, comes across the line, gives it to Jamnoff. Back to Newmanen, in front, saved by Kelly Rudy on Solani. Solani was right there. Newmanen with it. In front, Solani shoots, knocked down, loose puck cleared, out to center ice. We're still scoreless, but both teams came close with flurries at either end of the ice.
The Kings very strong on the forecheck, and the Winnipeg Jets always dangerous on attack on the rush. Solani at one end, Eric Lacroix for the Kings.
Troy Crowder out for the Kings for his first shift of the night. Puck comes up the center. Darren Shannon, left wing side. Shannon, King zone, trying to get around Cowie. Shannon in deep, checked behind the net. Loose puck played by McSorley. No score, second period. 10 minutes left to go in the period. Here's Conacher with it. Conacher feeds it up ahead to Eric Lacroix. Lacroix to center ice, trying to get around Luciano Borsato, but Lacroix goes down, throws it into the Winnipeg zone, and Daryl Shannon back together. Around Igor Korolev, knocked down by Cowie. Cowie in deep, threw it in front, but out of the reach there of Troy Crowder. Puck is back at center ice. Conacher with it, plays it off the boards. Crowder chasing it in along with Daryl Shannon. Shannon drops it off to Dave Manson. 16-15, the shots, Winnipeg's favor. No score in the game. Darren Shannon throws it into the King zone. Igor Korolev on the right side. Korolev hangs on. Still has it along the boards. Double team there. Gets it down in the corner. Now gets it back again. Can't get the shot. Burridge took it away for the Kings. Burridge's pass out the center. And on the right side, Yannick Perreault on a breakaway. Perreault shoots. Deflected up high. Perreault with his own rebound. In front. Tipped and score! Rick Tocchet tipped it in off the goaltender. And the Kings lead 1-0.
Yannick Perreault chasing down a loose puck. The Kings keeping it simple, leaving their own zone just off the boards. And Perreault will beat the Winnipeg Jets to the puck. At center ice. Now watch Perreault. He has to shield the puck a little bit because Quintal gets back. The backhand is over the net, but Perreault does not give up on the play. Neat little move right there. Look at that. Between the legs, backhand pass, and as always, Rick Tocchet driving to the net. So a good bit of stick work there by Perreault. Watch this shot. It's forced, actually deflected, but you see right here, Bob, a goal scorer doesn't give up. And there's the tricky move. Right between the legs, backhand pass, all kinds of skills there by Perreault. Rick Tocchet puts the Kings out front 1-0.
Rick Tocchet gets his 12th of the year. Yannick Perreault, just recalled from Phoenix, where he led the International Hockey League in scoring, gets the assist. And for Tocchet, 10 goals in the last 16 games. Kings with a 1-0 lead. Puck comes up to center ice and played there by Daryl Shannon. Swept away by Kelly Rudy. Randy Gillen with it. He throws it in. Petit breaks it up. Gives it to Sador. Now Dan Quinn clears it out to center. And another assist to Randy Burridge. 10:56 the time of the goal. Tocchet from Perreault and Burridge. Now the Kings with a 1-0 lead, and Daryl Shannon with it for the Winnipeg Jets. Randy Burridge only his third point in the last 10 games, but leads to the King goal. Puck taken by Ty Domi. Domi across the line. Domi in the Kings zone, centers it. Conacher, the only player there, and we have a penalty against the Kings. Ty Domi going after Michel Petit. The penalty is going to be a penalty on each player, a minor probably on each player. And the Kings have the 1-0 lead in the second period.
In the automotive world, if you don't change, you get crushed. Lexus, however, in our continuing pursuit of perfection, has made hundreds of changes to the LS400, resulting in a faster, more luxurious, roomier, and more maneuverable car than ever before. So drive an LS, unless, of course, you prefer to drive the competition. See the LS at your Southern California Lexus dealer. Everything's changed but the price.
My father started out to be a banker and ended up an innkeeper. I think people fantasize with travel. They envision going to exotic places. If you're going to be an innkeeper, you better make people comfortable and happy. Because we're a global company, we wanted a card that would give broad credit privileges throughout the world. And the American Express corporate card was the best for us to select.
The American Express corporate card is welcomed at lots of places that make you feel at home.
Another look at the Kings goal. Watch this move by Yannick Perreault. He has a defenseman coming right out. He's just slinky. He slides out of the way. And again, the backhand pass. Heavy Boolin made the first save, but Rick Tocchet was there, batting in the rebound. Talking about Yannick Perreault, Bob, the scouts felt he was not fast as a skater. That's what they felt his downfall was. He goes to the International Hockey League All-Star game this year. What does he do? He wins the fastest skater competition. So the scouts maybe missed him on that one. Penalties on the last play. Petit and Domi each get 2 minutes each for slashing. But on the way to the penalty box, Michel Petit of the Kings had a few words for the referee. He picked up an extra 2 minutes on sportsmanlike conduct. So the second best power play in the league, the Winnipeg Jets, has a chance here to try and tie it up.
The Kings had 6 defensemen dressed tonight. They've already lost Rob Blake to a strained groin, so they're down to 5, and now they lose Michel Petit in the penalty box. Jets 0 for 1 tonight on the power play. And the faceoff will be just inside the King line. They're doing some repair of the ice. Barry Melrose, his team ahead 1-0 on Rick Tocchet's 12th goal of the year. See what they do on this power play. Tkachuk and Jamnov lead with 6 power play goals apiece. Winnipeg has not been able to score a power play goal on the Kings yet this year. They're 0 for 6, 0 for 5 in the first meeting between the two teams back in Los Angeles.
Bob, I asked assistant coach John Purpich before the game, what's the success? Why for the Winnipeg Jets? He felt versatility. They have so many ways to beat you on the power play. They have a hard shot back on the point with Pintel. Then you have all the skill. Jamnov, Tkachuk, and Solani. So they can shoot it, they can also pass it.
Here comes Jamnov up to center ice. Jamnov entered the night leading the NHL in power play points with 19. Kings lead 1-0. And the faceoff will be outside the blue line. So Jamnov, what a year he's having. 4 goals in the last 3 games, 4th in NHL scoring, and 1st in NHL power play points.
And they call him Archie here in Winnipeg. He has the red hair. A lot of people feel that he came to training camp at the beginning of the year, the normal training camp, also after the lockout, in great shape. Last year he had problems with his back that slowed him down near the end of the season. This year he's been on top of his game. Certainly the credit has to be spread because the combination, the ingredients on that line are perfect. 3 players who do their own thing, and they all work so well together.
Wayne Gretzky from the left point fires wide, looking for the lower right-hand corner. 1:17 left to go in the power play for the Winnipeg Jets. Kings have a 1-0 lead on Tocchet's goal. Here's Teppo Numminen. He fires into the Kings zone. McSorley back to play it off the boards. Darren Shannon holds it in to the blue line to Jamnov. Jamnov to the left point. He's got Numminen on his right side. Gives it to Numminen. Numminen back to Jamnov. Jamnov left side to Solani. Tkachuk is right in the middle. Right side to Numminen. He shoots, deflected off the glass, and bounces right to Wayne Gretzky, and he's got time to clear. He gives it to center ice to Yari Curry, and Curry sends it the rest of the way.
The Winnipeg Jets jamming up the middle. Tkachuk going to the middle, so the Kings collapse down low. Back door was Teppo Numminen. Again, the Jets moving the puck around well.
Darren Shannon gets knocked down. Puck rolls towards Sador. Sador flipped it off the glass. Couldn't get it out. Numminen holds it in. Here's Keith Tkachuk. Tkachuk tried to give it to Darren Shannon. Went behind him. Teemu Solani with it now on the power play. Solani with 25 seconds left with the man advantage. Pass into Darren Shannon. Shannon back to Solani. Teemu Solani, left side, hangs on, gives it to Shannon, to Tkachuk, and he shot it wide to the right. Rebound to Zhamnov. Zhamnov at the right point, over to Newman, and he shoots. Blocked in front, loose puck, Shannon to Solani, and he didn't get it. Solani now in the corner, checked by McSorley, and the Kings clear out to center ice.
Some pretty good chances by the Winnipeg Jets, but Bob, each time the Jets had a chance, they only did get one chance. The Kings defenseman clearing the front of the net.
McSorley was trying to get to the King bench, and Winnipeg was in a line change, and everybody was bumping into Marty as he tried to get to the King bench. The Kings are back at full strength. Jets drive it back behind the King net. 1-0 Kings lead. Second period, 5:45 left in the period.
I thought Marty was trying to go to the Jets bench on that one.
And we get a whistle here as it's touched up. We'll be back in just a moment.
Travel arranged through U.S. Air, serving Los Angeles with convenient nonstop service to Columbus, Ohio. U.S. Air, nonstop to Columbus.
I think we've got a penalty called right here at the whistle, and perhaps it's a too many men on the ice for Winnipeg. The referee, Don Koharski, skated over to the penalty timekeeper's bench. And here's the announcement.
The ice. Time of the penalty, 14 minutes, 17 seconds.
That's what it is, too many men on the ice, so the Kings have a chance on the power play.
The keen eye of Bob Miller spotting that one. Marty McSorley, you mentioned it, Bob. He was skating towards the Kings bench, but he had to go through, I guess, one too many Winnipeg Jets who were on the ice. Ty Domi serving the penalty. Marty McSorley now with the explanation. I think he's talking with Rob Cowie there, and the Kings rookie defenseman. Cowie playing pretty good. He had an offensive chance earlier in this period. Cowie really reads Wayne Gretzky well, jumping in at the right time. The Kings get a chance here on the penalty. Chris Schnell will go to the point along with Daryl Sador.
I think it was the keen eye of Dan Shackey or Jay Sharers. I can't count to 6 or 7 that quick. Kings with a 1-0 lead and a chance to widen it here with a power play. Kings 0 for 1 with only 2 shots on the previous power play, and the faceoff will be to the right of Nikolai Habibulin. Quinn on the draw, loose puck, Kings with it. Here's Snell at the blue line. He shoots, it's deflected by Dallas Drake and brought to center ice by Randy Gillen, who drives it down in the King zone. Played by Kelly Rudy. Rudy gives it over to Snell. Snell, the rookie, back in the King zone. 5:25 left to go here in the second period. End of this period, we'll bring you up to date on the NHL out-of-town scoreboard and give you a lot of information on some events that will honor Dave Taylor. Sador, the left point, throws it in deep. It bounces in front, but Tocchet couldn't get there. Now Dan Quinn with it. Quinn gets it to Robert Long. Long's pass, tipped right back to him. Long with it again. Long pass again, tipped, but this time the Kings can't hold on. Manson with it. Now to the right point. Snell holds it in. Off the boards to Shannon, and he partially fans on it, and the Kings hold it in. Tocchet knocked it out of midair. Tocchet to Snell. Now over to Quinn. Quinn at the blue line. He tried to feed it through to Robert Long. It's tipped away to Sador. Sador into Long. Long to Tocchet. Now Tocchet over to Quinn. He shot it up high. Tried a one-timer, but it was rolling, and he got it up high. Tocchet holds it in. Boy, this is a sloppy-looking power play, but the Kings are holding it in the Winnipeg zone. Pass in front to Tocchet, and his shot deflected wide. And now Gillen down in the corner. Now it comes loose and finally cleared by Winnipeg's Daryl Shannon.
Baseball players better get back to work, Bob. I think 3 or 4 times on the last shift, the hockey players knocking the puck out of the air. It was sloppy, but 2 good chances for the Kings.
Here's Tony Granato with 21 seconds left to go in the power play for the Kings. Rob Cowie now to center. Cowie slaps it around behind the net. It comes around the right side. Kicked down in deep by Darren Shannon, and Newman quickly clears it for Winnipeg. 8 seconds left to go in the King power play. Kelly Rudy gives it around to Marty McSorley in the right corner. McSorley reverses it back to Cowie. Now back over to McSorley, and that's the end of the King power play. Winnipeg back at full strength. Jets hold it in the King zone. At the blue line, backhander by Nelson Emerson, up high and gloved by Kelly Rudy. And he drops it down for McSorley. 1-0 Kings lead. Here's Granato. Granato to Gretzky. Gretzky tried to feed it through to Curry. Jets break it up. Newman gives it to Borsato. Right wing. Borsato shoots. Saved by Kelly Rudy. Borsato down in the right corner. Going forward there is McSorley. Jets dig it out. Pass up high over the head of Newman. Chased by Granato, but beating him to it at center ice and flipping it into the Winnipeg bench was Igor Korolev.
Think of all this as a large block of ice. Think of this as a chip off the old block. Coors Light's aged ice cold. So when you think of ice, think of the silver bullet. The only way to chill.
There are no medals for being the shoulder to cry on. No songs of praise for keeping traditions alive. But to the men who give their best every day, we offer our best. Gillette Sensor XL. Spring-mounted blades and microfins to set up your beard. And Gillette Series shaving gel for incredible smoothness. Sensor XL, the world's best shave. And sometimes that's its own reward. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Well, season seats available for next year, and you can call a season seat representative right now, 310-419-3800. Give them a call right now. Get all the information you'll need for King's season seats for next year. I want to say hello to somebody who didn't make this trip, Rick Sadowski, the hockey beat writer for the LA Daily News. I understand he broke his ankle at home. I've heard of guys trying to get out of this trip, but throwing yourself down the stairs is a little drastic. And we fooled him. It was 40 degrees today here in Winnipeg. Puck comes to right side to Burridge. Burridge in front to Druce. Backhander. He scores! John Druce with his third of the year against the Winnipeg Jets. And the Kings lead 2-0.
The Kings forecheck working again. Just the pressure of the first man. I think it was Yannick Perreault in there, the rookie centerman. Well, watch the dump in. Cross corner and the positioning. Stop it right here. Look at Perreault, first man on the puck, and he goes right through. Follow it through, second man. There's Randy Burridge. Great textbook forecheck. Smart play here by John Druce. Twice he held on to the puck and skated all the way past the goaltender. Watch Druce pick up the puck, doesn't shoot there, holds on one more time, waits for another beat, goes around the goaltender, and the Kings lead 2-0.
John Druce gets his sixth of the year. Winnipeg Jets, Tkachuk with it, right side. He's checked there and knocked down by Chris Snell before Tkachuk could pull the trigger, and the puck comes up to center ice. So John Druce from Daryl Sador and Randy Burridge at 17-11, and the Kings have a 2-0 lead. Here's Solani to Zhamnov, and he shot it wide. Boy, Jim, the Jets have had some great opportunities, either been stopped by Kelly Rudy or just misfired on the shot.
And again, it's the big line. Zhamnov with a shot that missed the net. Solani and Tkachuk, they play so well together.
Jets with it. Zhamnov to Solani in front to Tkachuk, and he scores.
I think they play pretty well together on that play. A little bit of the transition working for the Winnipeg Jets. They have missed chances. The Kings had the puck in the neutral zone, not necessarily a real bad turnover, but with these players on the ice, you cannot afford to be caught going one way and the puck comes back the other. There it is in the neutral zone. Dan Quinn tried the backhand pass. It was picked off by Solani. Then all this is passing. Great triangle on the attack for the Winnipeg Jets. Finally, Tkachuk finishes it off. Get it to the middle, outside, and then one more cross pass. Tkachuk puts it up top, and the Winnipeg Jets come right back with a goal. Barry Melrose, the Kings head coach, feels the most important shift of a game is one that comes after a goal. The Kings did not react good on that one.
Keith Tkachuk with his 12th of the year from Solani and Zhamnov, and the Kings lead is 2-1. Ian Deep is Petit. He runs into Chris King. Now Domi steps into Petit. Puck taken by the Kings. Cleared up to center ice by Sador. So Tkachuk, Zhamnov, and Solani all with 12 goals to tie for the lead on the Winnipeg Jets team. What a beautiful play that was by Winnipeg. They're right back in the game, trailing 2-1. The Kings scored at 17-11. Less than a minute later at 18:02, the Winnipeg Jets got that goal back. But the Kings still lead it 2-1, and we're down to 1:15 to go here in the second period. Ty Domi across the King line, throws it in. Jets want to get a line change. Sador peels down the corner to get away from Chris King. Sador hangs on. Nice move. Headmans it up to McSorley. Here's McSorley across the line with 1 minute to go in the second period. McSorley throws it in toward Randy Burridge. Burridge has 2 assists in the game tonight. Burridge still with it. Hangs on. Left side. Still has it. Crisscrosses with Drews. He leaves it for Drews. John Drews down in the corner. Gets help from Yannick Perreault. Perreault digs it out. Perreault in the slot. His shot saved by Javi Bulin. 38 seconds left to go here in the second period. Teemu Solani with it. He gets up ahead of steam. Here's Solani. Can't get around John Drews. Drews took it away, and then Burridge diving got his stick on it. Now at center ice, Drews fires it back into the Winnipeg zone.
Just a little thing, Bob, but all 3 Kings forwards on the last play took a shot at Solani. They stopped him before he could get it going.
Wayne Gretzky with it, Winnipeg zone. Gretzky checked along the boards, and the puck cleared out to center ice. Teppo Newman had Gretzky tied up. Puck came toward Granato, but he'd broken his stick and had to go to the bench to get another one. Now Granato in a collision out at center ice. Puck is flipped down into the Kings zone behind the net. He ran into Keith Tkachuk. Granato and Tkachuk collided, and they both stayed on the ice for a while. Now they're up as time runs out in the second period. Tkachuk looks like he is shaken up more than Granato. There you see Keith Tkachuk. He scored the goal that put Winnipeg back in the game. At the end of 2 periods, it's the Kings 2, the Jets 1. We'll be back with a look at the NHL out-of-town scoreboard in a moment.
Here's more big news from 3-Day Suit Broker, the original suit warehouse. All the exciting new men's suits and accessories have arrived. And at 3-Day Suit Broker, you'll always pay less than half what you'd pay at department stores or at men's discount clothing stores. Guaranteed. And remember, they call it 3-Day because they're open only 3 days a week. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
3-Day Suit Broker's newest store is now open in West L.A. For directions, call 800-SUIT-BROKER.
Girls and boys come out to play. The moon is shining bright to stay. Leave your supper and leave your sleep. Come to your playfellows in the street. Come with a whoop and come with a call. Come with a goodwill not at all.
The Land Rover Discovery is designed to handle virtually anything, including a family. Introducing Discovery, a family vehicle from Land Rover. It's a great place to have children.
Select your dealership as carefully as you select your car. Terry York Motor Car.
Lately, I've been spending a lot of time with this old rope, thanks to Great Western Direct Deposit. You see, on payday, when folks are standing in line at the bank with their paycheck, mine's already in my checking account. And I get time for this. By the way, they don't even charge you for a regular checking account. Now, nobody likes to get tied up on payday. Talk to Great Western Bank about direct deposit, or ask your employer.
You got the winning color.
I change the oil every 3,000 miles or so. I've always used Pennzoil. It's a quality product.
Now with the revolutionary Penn-Star molecule, Pennzoil clings to moving parts, works like liquid ball bearings.
It's showtime, baby! My Pennzoil's 4 to the Final 4. Winners up for 2 to the Final 4. 86,000 other prizes. It details where you find Pennzoil. It'll be awesome, baby!
Buy a case of Pennzoil, win a trip to the Final 4. Details at Track Auto.
He was a giant of a man and a friend to none. When he rode into town, he blocked out the sun. Said, I'm hungry, Jack, need a change of pace. Make it big, make it good, wipe that smile off your face. Outlaw Burger. I took a quarter-pound patty, onion rings, melted cheese, and big strips of bacon in that barbecue sauce. Brought him to his knees. He cried, I gotta have one, Jack. I said, you better say please.
Outlaw Burger. Ha!
When it comes to towing, the Chevy Astro is the van that can, with a whole lot of pull and then some. With 190 horsepower, Astro tows better than Aerostar or Caravan and seats 8 like no other van can. This California Value Edition Astro at just $19,295 can save you thousands. And Astro is loaded with creature comforts like air and power everything. Astro, the van that can. Get all this and more for just $19,295 at your Chevy Geo dealer now.
At the end of 2 periods here at the Winnipeg Arena in Winnipeg, Manitoba, the Los Angeles Kings have a 2-1 lead over the Winnipeg Jets. Time for the Ford Sports Update, and there were 6 other games scheduled in the National Hockey League tonight. We'll bring you up to date on the scores. Down Florida at Boston this afternoon, it was John Van Beesbrook getting his 3rd shutout of the year. Scott Mellenby and Mike Huff had the goals, and Florida shut out Boston in the Boston Garden 2-0. Another afternoon game, Pittsburgh defeated Buffalo 6-2. Larry Murphy, 2 goals, 2 assists. Jaromir Jagr had 3 assists. Also scoring for Pittsburgh, Sean McEachran is 8th. Luke Robitaille is 13th. John Cullen is 12th. And Ron Francis is 8th. In the second period at Montreal, Mark Recchi has scored 1 of the goals for Montreal. They lead the Rangers 2-1. Former King Jay Wells has the Ranger goal. The Islanders and Quebec are tied 1-1 in the third. Owen Nolan for Quebec, Steve Thomas for the Islanders. Quebec ranked #1 overall in the National Hockey League. Chicago at Toronto at Maple Leaf Gardens in the second period. Toronto leads. Matt Sundin has the goal, 1-0 over Chicago. And later tonight, it'll be the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim at Vancouver. Right here, the Kings have a 2-1 lead over the Winnipeg Jets. You'll get all the scores and highlights on the Prime Sports Press Box later tonight. We'll be back with more in a moment.
Kings Hockey is being brought to you by the Gatorade Company, who reminds you, if you're not standing on the sidelines, you're going to get thirsty. Life is a sport. Drink it up.
In this life, no matter what you do, no matter how you do it, you know you're going to get thirsty. And maybe nothing on earth can quench your desire, but there is something that will always quench your thirst. Gatorade. Life is a sport. Drink it up.
So what are you doing today? Today, Bob Johnson is in a home-based nursery picking out the perfect ficus. Nancy Malone is at home base finding mini blinds at guaranteed low prices. Bruce and Janice Miller are getting a free in-home consultation from a home-based kitchen designer. And today, the Parkers are using their new home-based credit card to save 10% on their first purchase. There are a million other ways we can help. Surely you can think of one. Home base, ready to help.
Hold it. This isn't you, it's an older guy.
Oh, that was before I got rid of my gray hair with Just for Men hair color.
Come on, that's too natural to be hair coloring.
Just for Men. Apply and in 5 minutes rinse. Gray is blended away for a totally natural look.
Think it'll work for me?
In 5 minutes.
Just for Men looks too natural to be hair coloring. And now try Just for Men Color Gel for the hard-to-color hair of mustaches and beards. Brush in, rinse out. Just 5 minutes.
When you come to a Lakers game, you get this overwhelming sense, the retired jerseys and all those championship banners. It's not enough just to follow in their footsteps. You feel you owe it to the team and the fans. Hey, times have changed, but some things never do. Experience Lakers basketball. It's more than just a game. It's purple pride.
Experience the excitement of Lakers basketball. For tickets, call 1-800-LAKERS-LA.
Gun protectant. Nothing works better on your car's leather, vinyl, and rubber. It can turn just about anything into a great-looking car.
Nice car. What, this pile of junk?
Give it the gun with Son of a Gun. And now give your tires a quick kick with one-step tire care.
No matter what they tell you, smoke doesn't stay in the smoking section.
The Kings road trip continues to Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens to face Doug Gilmour and the Leafs, Monday at 4:30 on Prime Sports.
All the goals here in Winnipeg tonight have been scored in the second period. And at the end of 2, it's the Los Angeles Kings leading the Winnipeg Jets 2-1. Hi again, everybody. Bob Miller along with Jim Fox. And so far, so good again on the road tonight for the Kings. But as you mentioned, that next shift after the Kings score a goal is so important, and it took the Winnipeg Jets 51 seconds to get that goal back.
Especially, Bob, with a big line with the Winnipeg Jets. Shamnoff, Solani, Kachuk, they came right back and actually got the Winnipeg Jets right back in the game when it looked for a moment the Kings were going to take over. Don't take anything away from the Kings, and don't take anything away from the Kings defensemen, but the Kings forwards on the forecheck, exceptional. First man with pressure, taking the man, there's loose pucks, and they're paying off.
Well, we want to tell you about some events coming up that are going to honor one of the great Kings of all time, Dave Taylor, who spent 17 years in a King uniform. The first will be the Dave Taylor jersey retirement ceremony. Now, it's going to be on Monday, April 3rd. The Kings take on the Edmonton Oilers that night. It's going to be a great night. The ceremony will start right around 7:30, 7:35. Tickets are still available for that game and that night at the Kings box office at the Forum and also the Slap Shops and Ticketmaster. Then a week later, on Monday, April 10th, at the Intercontinental Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, it'll be the Dave Taylor Retirement Luncheon. All the Kings players and coaching staff will be there, and we hope you're going to be able to join us there also. If you'd like ticket information for the Dave Taylor Retirement Luncheon, call that number, 213-482-6352. So those are going to be two great events honoring Dave Taylor. And then after that, Jim, something that we're unveiling for the first time here tonight.
Outstanding career in the Los Angeles Kings for Dave Taylor. And, Bob, I don't think we're going to see that very much anymore.
Right.
One player on one team for 17 years. And, Bob, tell us about that other thing we have, a special thing for Dave Taylor.
Well, artist Samantha Wendell has been busy, and she has come up with this lithograph, limited edition, 17 years of number 18. There are only 318 of these lithographs available. The proceeds will benefit the Kings Youth Hockey Foundation, and you can see the prices there. If you would like more information, call 310-419-3814. That's the limited edition lithograph honoring the Kings, Dave Taylor. So a lot going on, and it really, I know it's been said before, but couldn't happen to a nicer guy or someone who has given more to the Kings organization than Dave Taylor.
Well deserved, Bob. We're talking about forechecking tonight. I remember when I came into the league in 1980, the triple crown line, and they had Dave Taylor always in there, the first man on the forecheck. He took the man, he got back, he did everything for the Los Angeles Kings. As the years went along, Dave Taylor even became more important to the Los Angeles Kings. They couldn't get the Stanley Cup for him, but now we're going to celebrate his retirement.
And it'll be quite a month in April when we do that for Dave Taylor. Jim and I will be back with the highlights of the second period here in just a moment.
You have a new neighbor at 4th and La Brea. It's La Brea Chevy Buick Olds Geo. Our convenient location gives you the opportunity to have our experienced staff serve you. The 1995 models are here. New styles, colors, and options, like this 1995 Regal, fully loaded for just $299 a month on a 30-month lease. Call today, 213-939-2131. Your satisfaction is our goal. Hey, and if we can satisfy Angeline, we can satisfy anybody.
Century Cable se convertirá en Century Communications para traerle la tecnología del futuro. Y mientras que cambiamos y avanzamos, le ofrecemos lo que usted necesita hoy. Visitas de servicio puntuales, instalaciones puntuales, entretenimiento sin interrupción todos los días. Otros le prometen un gran futuro, pero nosotros se lo garantizamos hoy. Bienvenidos al nuevo Century.
You're great. I can't believe it's half the bad.
How's that?
Delicious.
I could eat about this many tacos.
These are great.
They taste magnificent. Bingo!
Taco Bell introduces Border Light Tacos. 4 new tacos with all the taste and half the fat. Try them and you'll be a believer too.
I had no idea light food could taste so good.
Bankruptcy, repossession, late pays. If you're experiencing closed doors because of bad credit, there is a solution.
This Wednesday and Thursday, be at the Omni Hotel, downtown Los Angeles, 7 p.m. Learn all you need to know about removing bad credit. Bankruptcies, tax liens, and late pays can be removed. Start controlling your future by being at the Omni Hotel this Wednesday and Thursday at 7 p.m.
So if you're tired of having doors slammed in your face,
be at the Omni Hotel, the corner of Figueroa and 7th Street, this Wednesday and Thursday at 7 p.m.
Sport Mart has the low price.
Low price?
The low price on everything you're looking for. Like the Easton SX24 softball bat, only $89.94. Or Easton's Black Magic Little League bat, only $49.94. Or Easton's Shatterproof Sport Flare sunglasses, only $24.94. Sport Mart has the low price on Easton so often
that we confidently offer you double the difference back if you find it for less somewhere else.
For the last word on the low price, it's Sport Mart.
You'll find what you're looking for at Sport Mart.
It's a fact that smoking can cause premature aging.
Hey, Cliffy, what's up?
That's Jeff Francis, who started smoking in junior high. He's a sophomore now.
Three goals scored in the second period. The Kings got the first two. Then the Jets got on the scoreboard. It's 2-1 Kings at the end of two periods here in Winnipeg tonight. We go to the Pennzoil highlights. And at the 10:56 mark of the second period, the Kings' leading scorer, Rick Tocchet, got his 12th of the year.
Yannick Perreault chasing down a loose puck, and Perreault will beat Quintel to the front. You saw the backhand just chip wide, but watch Perreault here. Presence of mind to keep it going. Right in front on the backhand pass. Not the first chance, but the second chance for Rick Tocchet. Bounds in the rebound. The Kings lead 1-0.
Tocchet from Perreault and Burridge, and then John Druce got his 6th of the year.
The forecheck for the Kings exceptional. We'll see Perreault in. First man knocks one of the Jets off the puck. Burridge picks it up. Now watch John Druce. Gets it here. He could shoot. He said, no, I'm going to hang on right there one more time. He held on about 3 times there. Good patience. And Druce puts the Kings out in front, 2-0.
Sador and Burridge with the assist, but back came the highest scoring line in the NHL.
The Kings have possession of the puck. Dan Quinn in the middle of the zone right here. Takes it to the middle, tries the backhand pass. The turnover in the neutral zone. Then you'll see the Winnipeg Jets. Textbook right here. Stop it. You'll see the attack triangle. Jamnoff in the middle has the puck. But when you spread out like this, there's so many options available. And the passing is tic-tac-toe. It cannot be done any better than that. The Winnipeg Jets get right back in the game.
Good shot from Solane and Jamnoff at 18:02. We look at the stat sheet at the end of two periods. In that second period, the Kings outshot Winnipeg 9-5 and lead them in shots 20-18 for the game. So the Gatorade third period faceoff ready to take place, and the Kings win the draw. Gretzky draws it into McSorley. McSorley up to center ice. It deflects over to Curry, now to Tony Granato. Granato backhands it into the Winnipeg zone. Both teams at full strength. 2-1 Kings lead. Third period just underway. In the corner, Wayne Gretzky tied up along the boards, and the puck cleared to the blue line. Taken now by Newman. Newman into Teemu Solane. Solane knocked down by Cowie at the blue line. Good check by Rob Cowie. He just knocked Solane down, and Newmanen with it now over to Keith Tkachuk. Cowie checks in. Tkachuk trying to get by, takes a whack at the back of Cowie's head. Don Koharski, the referee. Let's play continue. The Kings send it the length of the ice, and Mikulchik is back to touch it. And we're going to get icing call here. McSorley and Solane have some words. Well, you saw the beautiful play by that line of Tkachuk, Jamnoff, and Solane, and we asked Keith Tkachuk why he thinks that line has been so successful this year.
Well, I think the biggest thing right now is Alexei Zemnov. He's playing tremendous hockey right now. He's coming up big for us. He came into training camp, I guess, in great shape. And, you know, obviously when you get a guy like Teemu Solane, too, who can fly up and down, is a goal scorer. And all I have to do is work the corners and get them the puck as much as possible.
Bob, you heard there, Tkachuk giving the credit. There's Keith Tkachuk, the captain, only 22 years old. He doesn't feel much pressure there. He says sometimes maybe a little pressure when you have to yell at the older guys. It's a difficult position for a captain, but a captain is not a popularity contest.
Korolev with a shot and a stick save by Kelly Rudy. Puck comes back to Luciano Borsato. Borsato tried to give it to Korolev behind the net, but it got away from him and is taken by Rick Tocchet. Tocchet up to center ice. Here's Dan Quinn, sends it in. Nikolai Habibulin makes the stop there. Habibulin coming into the game tonight, playing in his 14th or 15th game, I should say, for the Winnipeg Jets. Here's Korolev, rolls it in deep, and Kelly Rudy gets it safely over to Michel Petit. Now to Dan Quinn. Quinn played it off the boards to Robert Long. Long can't clear. Puck comes down and deep in the Kings zone. Sador with it there, but into the corner goes Igor Korolev. Korolev Dropped it off for Darren Shannon. Shannon taken down by Long. Fans wanted a penalty there. Puck taken by Shannon. He's tied up in the corner. Now Long gets it to Quinn, and Quinn plays it off the board.
Bob, I think we're going to see that a few times here in the third period. If the Kings are being pressured at all, just get the puck off the boards and out of the zone. Make the safe play all the time. And we saw McSorley and Solani mixing it up. No penalties were called, but back in 1979, Randy Holt picks up an NHL record. 9 penalties, 67 penalty minutes in one game. The Kings against the Philadelphia Flyers, and certainly this game has been tame, I think. Look at those beautiful uniforms, the Los Angeles Kings, and there's a man who led the National Hockey League last season in penalty minutes, 347 for Domi. He's been pretty quiet tonight.
Every time I see tapes of that first period that night against Philadelphia, I remember the Rat, Kenny Linsman. I remember him sneaking around, tripping guys from behind with his stick. Puck comes up to the blue line and is held in there, but it comes out to center ice, tipped ahead by John Drews. Now Perreault came off on the right side of Burridge. He tried to give it back to Drews. Drews chases it in, checked by Randy Gillen. Kings ahead 2-1. Drews fights his way in the corner. Now Randy Burridge, who's got 2 assists tonight. Burridge with it along the left wing boards. He gets checked there. Yannick Perreault over to pick it up. Perreault to Drews, in front alone. Save, rebound. Drews couldn't get a shot off. Nice pass by Yannick Perreault to Drews, but Drews got stopped. Perreault shot wide. Rebound toward McSorley along the right wing board. Gets it to John Drews. Drews into the corner to Burridge. Burridge checked there along the boards by Neil Wilkinson. Burridge still with it. And again, he's checked by Wilkinson. The puck comes to Ty Domi, but he's lost his stick, so he kicks it over to Stefan Quintal. He sends it into the King zone. Now look out right in front of the King bench. We've got Chris King and Marty McSorley. Now Stefan Quintal comes in. Ty Domi is there. Play continues. Puck taken by Yari Curry. Domi and McSorley having words before they both stepped onto their respective benches. Puck taken by Mikulczyk. Kings ahead 2-1. John Drews had a great chance to widen the lead, but here's Newman and across the line, right side, Solani. Solani tried to give it to Zhamnov, out of his reach. 16:45 to go. We're in the third period. Michel Petit gets knocked down, but the puck comes up to center ice. Kings with it. Gretzky's pass out of the reach of Petit, and we'll get an icing call here against the Kings as Mikulczyk touches up. 2-1 Kings. Back in a moment.
When you fly to Las Vegas, you can bring your spouse along for free because friends fly free on Southwest Airlines. Or you can bring along your partner, Jack. Tickets are fully refundable. Just make round-trip reservations and buy your ticket at Southwest regular, low, unrestricted fare, and a friend flies with you free. Anywhere we fly. Hey, you can even bring along your boss. Friends fly free on Southwest, the low-fare airline.
Ah, it's good. It's Moravian barley.
Moravian what?
Barley. Grows at altitude. Only Coors uses it. Malts up there. Smooth. Rocky Mountain water, you know. Gives you that clean taste.
Uh-huh. And you know all this because...
I read the can.
Oh, he can really read the can. Professor of virology.
Great forecheck again by the John Drews line. Burridge roll it forward right here. We'll see Burridge coming out of the corner. Now John Drews is in the middle of the screen. Stop it right here. Look at John Drews. He's going to go back to defensive position. But what happens is you roll it, defensive position, turns into the best offensive position. Good work by all 3 men. Happy Bullen just stands his ground. He waits for John Drews to make the first shot. The Winnipeg goaltender with a great save, but another example of the great forecheck by that line.
2-1 Kings. And the puck driven in the left wing corner where Petit goes for it there. Kings have the only 2 shots of this period. Puck taken by Robert Long. Long fighting his way up across the blue line. Soft pass gets away from Dan Quinn. Quinn chasing it in along with Darryl Shannon, but neither of them get it. Here's Robert Long. Long behind the net to Quinn. Quinn in front, tried to bank it in. A save. No, it's in. The Kings have scored. Dan Quinn put it off the goaltender Hobby Bullen into the net, and the Kings lead 3-1.
The goals are starting to go in now for the Los Angeles Kings. The forecheck started by Robert Long. He has a smile, but it was Dan Quinn who banked it off the goaltender. Started up right here. Rick Tocchet with pressure. All three Kings get caught behind the net right there, but then they regroup. Both Lung and Tocchet go to the front. Habibulin, the goaltender, oh, it goes in between his legs. I thought it went short side the first time I looked at it. We'll try to get a look. Watch the left leg of Habibulin. He looks behind himself. The puck comes out in front, and it goes off his left leg in between his legs over the goal line. Not a pretty goal. It doesn't matter to the Los Angeles Kings. They lead 3-1.
Dan Quinn gets his 5th goal in the last 8 games. Comes at .351. Robert Long with the assist, and the Kings with a 3-1 lead. We get bad news. Yari Curry goes to the dressing room. We'll give you 3 guesses what the injury is. Strained groin. Groin, or groin. You got it. They've already lost Rob Blake tonight with a strained groin. Now Yari Curry goes off. Puck taken by Teppo Numminen. Kings with a 3-1 lead here in the 3rd period. Shot from the right side by Granato, saved by Habibulin. 15:30 left to go in this 3rd period. Conacher checked hard by Zhamnov. Now here's Solane across the King line, broken up by McSorley. Ahead to Gretzky. Gretzky feeds it to Conacher. He shoots off the arm of Habibulin. Puck taken by the Jets. Teppo Numminen. Numminen up to center ice. Numminen to Zhamnov. Zhamnov, right side, goes in deep. Sador checks in there, breaks it up, but Shannon holds it in. Shannon soft pass to Solane. Solane put it in deep. McSorley sends it around the board. Chopped that there and cleared to center by John Druce. Jets with it again. Darren Shannon throws it deep in the King zone. 3-1 Kings lead. King goals tonight by Tocchet, Druce, and Quinn. Puck taken now at center ice by Darren Shannon. He's checked there by John Druce. Came close to being a hook. Puck comes off the boards to center ice. Played by Druce. Druce with it for the Kings. Quinn got that goal to put the Kings ahead. 3-1. The puck comes over to Michel Petit. Petit bounces it off the boards out to center, and Darren Shannon with it there. Backhands it back in. 14:20 to go here in the 3rd period. Puck taken by the Kings, and Petit. Now it comes across the ice from Druce to Burridge. Poke checked away by Manson.
Bob, now the Winnipeg Jets, they know they need 2 goals to get back and tie this game. All 5 men are standing up. They're trying to pressure the Kings early.
John Druce gets knocked down on the blue line. Puck comes to the King line where Dan Quinn has it. Gives it to Petit. Now Robert Long. Long tried to feed it left side, and he's checked out at center ice by Daryl Shannon. Shannon went down. Here's Ty Domi down in the corner, chased by Robert Long. Long got the arm of Domi. Domi turned around to see who that was. Puck comes up to center ice to Randy Gillen. Gillen shoots it in the King zone. Cut off behind the net by Kelly Rudy. Rudy put it up on the glass to the right point. It got by Stefan Quintal and out to center ice. 13.5 minutes to go in the 3rd. Now Quinn took a run at Wilkinson. No penalty called. Puck taken by Domi in front. Saved by Kelly Rudy. Chris King was right in front. Kings come back. Tocchet. He feeds it to Quinn. Right wing to McSorley. He shoots. Save Habibulin, and he covers the rebound and gets the whistle.
Some pretty good action right here, end to end. The Kings, when they have a chance, one chance, get it out of the zone, chip it off the boards. Now a few words exchanged. There's Wilkinson and Quinn. Bob mentioned earlier that they had a few words near center ice. Now at the end of the play, Rick Tocchet wants a piece of Stefan Quintal. Quintal is huge. 6'3", 225 pounds. That will not scare Rick Tocchet, though. About right here, I think Rick Tocchet, the boys showing through. Tocchet doesn't want to be taken off the ice. His team has a 2-goal lead, and the Kings are going to need the big forwards to chip it out all night. Those are the same plays. Take a chance right here, Bob, to give you the answer to Discover Card Trivia. Current coach in the NHL that was a teammate of Barry Melrose on the Winnipeg Jets. It's Rick Bowness, now the head coach of the Ottawa Senators. So the Winnipeg Jets have a couple of coaches now in the National Hockey League. Bob, I want to go back to a one-on-one earlier. We'll watch Daryl Sador and Alexei Zhamnov. Zhamnov with speed. Sador is the Kings defenseman. Now Zhamnov goes wide. Sador keeps it out wide. Stop it right here. Sador took the man all the way, and you saw that one time. Follow it through again. Now Sador picks up the loose puck. But earlier, Zhamnov tried to fool Sador. He tried to just bait him into going after a loose puck. Sador kept his eye on the man all the way, played the one-on-one, and made the check.
Face-off taken by the Jets in their own zone. Long lead pass to Solane. They tried to break him behind the King defense out at center ice. He had to chase it down in deep. He's got it behind the net. Comes around in front, and Tkachuk is knocked down by Chris Snell. Snell just got way low and knocked down Tkachuk. Kings, Tony Granato tips it into the corner. Here is Granato behind the net now. He got it from Conacher. Granato throws it down in toward Gretzky. Yari Curry has gone into the dressing room with a groin strain. Gretzky tried to feed it in front of Granato. It deflects to Tkachuk. To center ice to Zhamnov. Zhamnov across the line. He feeds it, but Snell broke it up there trying to get it to Solane. Kings clear it out to center ice. 12:30 left to go in the third period. Kings with a 3-1 lead over the Winnipeg Jets. Jets have won 3 in a row. Puck comes off the boards down into the Winnipeg zone, and John Bruce in to get it. Mikulchuk got to it first, but lost his stick. Kings with it again. Down in deep, around in front is Burridge. Burridge to the right point to Petit. Petit speeds along the boards to Perreault. Now to Drews. Drews hangs on. He had a man in front. It was Burridge, but it's broken up by Newman, and Zhamnov with it now. Zhamnov up on the right side. Up to center ice. Nelson Emerson. Emerson to Tkachuk. Tkachuk across the line. Tried to feed it to Emerson. He lost his balance. Kings with it. Randy Burridge clears it off the boards out to center ice. Dan Quinn got his 6th goal of the year, assisted by Robert Long at 3:51. Here's Steen. Steen back in a shot wide by Dallas Drake. Up picked up by Sador. Can't clear. And knocked out of the air with a high stick here. And a whistle stops play.
If it seems like you're always putting money into your luxury car, you might want to take note of a recent study. Based on projected cost of ownership from maintenance to depreciation, the Lexus ES was named the best overall value in its class. So drive an ES instead of the money pits. To save money down the road, see your Southern California Lexus dealer.
Charlie and I were making real good time till we got cut off. We were just stuck there. Well, times like that, I'm glad I got Great Western direct deposit. Nothing can hold up my paycheck. It goes into my account automatically. And I can call the bank to confirm it anytime I want. Check it out. You never know when you're going to get caught in traffic. Talk to Great Western Bank about direct deposit, or ask your employer.
Public figure and executive protection, threat assessment, and investigative services, West Coast Detectives, North Hollywood, California.
Barry Melrose team ahead 3-1 here with 11:39 to go in the third period. Shannon fires it in. Daryl Shannon sent it down in deep in the King zone. Here's Sador, knocked down behind the net. Gets some help from Robert Long, but he reached out in the best Tim Waters tradition and covered it up.
Should be Tim Waters' tradition. Tim Waters played for the Winnipeg Jets. He's now in the Kings organization, out with a groin injury. Robert Long back helping out. Looks like Robert Long has a little nick there, lower side of his face, the right side. That won't keep anyone out. Hockey player will go in, take 10 stitches, be right back on the ice. Robert Long stays out to take this drop.
Dennis Segura talking about cuts. He's still out. He got hit with a shot in practice by Matt Johnson, and he had 40 stitches, 3 different layers of stitches, and it's just on the left side of his nose and cheek. I think they had some x-rays just to make sure the cheekbone wasn't broken.
And that's still what's bothering Segura right now. He has some dizziness. The cheekbone is not fractured, but still, he got on the bike, he tried to ride it. There's a lot of bleeding that went in behind the eye, so they're being very careful with Segura.
Kings with it out at center ice in a 3-1 lead with 11:11 left to go here in the third period. Winnipeg Jets in their longest win streak of the year. They've won 3 in a row, including a win last night over Dallas, 4-3. They've defeated San Jose, Calgary, and Dallas for their 3-game win streak. Kings on the road looking for win number 5 as the puck comes back behind the King net, and Kelly Rudy cuts it off. Comes to Tocchet. Chris Snell got knocked down, but he got it to Tocchet. Tocchet cleared to center, and Shannon drives it back behind the King net. Now the Kings clear it out to center ice. Chased down by Robert Long with Rick Tocchet. Long left side. Long tried to feed it to Tocchet, but a hard pass came through the slot. Conacher gets it along. Long behind the net. Up the middle to McSorley. Shoots up high. Rebound off the glass, and while being tied up, Conacher got his stick on it, but couldn't direct it toward the net. Here's Neil Wilkinson to center ice. He snapped at it, but it's knocked down by Gretzky. Now Wilkinson sends it around the boards over toward Darren Shannon. Offside called against the Winnipeg Jets.
One more chance here to tell you about exciting Pac-10 basketball coming your way after tonight's Kings game at 7:30 p.m. on Prime Sport. The Oregon Ducks take on my #1 ranked UCLA Bruins. Ed O'Bannon, Kobe Bailey, all the Bruins will be there. Again, this is the last regular season game, the last tune-up for the Bruins going into the tournament. I guess it's certain right now that the Bruins will get the #1 seed in the Western Conference. They'll try to make it all the way to the Final Four, April 3rd. I don't know where it is this year, but I'm going to have to check on that. I think my Bruins have a great chance of being there.
In Seattle, is it not?
Keep it on the West Coast.
Up to center ice, and Cowie sends it all the way down into the Winnipeg zone. Back to get it is Newmanen. Clears it out to center ice. Chased down by McSorley. 9:49 left to go here in the third period. 3-1, Kings lead. Pass around the boards by McSorley. Comes all the way back in the Winnipeg zone. No icing here. Granato and Newmanen go for it. They get tied up. Gretzky comes in to try and help out. Gretzky behind the net. This line's got Conacher now, but pass to Conacher, broken up by Solani. He clears it to center, and Marty McSorley shoots it right back in. 9:25 left to go here in this third period. Randy Burridge with it. Burridge to Drews. In front, he scores! John Drews with his second of the game. And Randy Burridge with his third assist. And the Kings lead 4-1.
Burridge has to get all kinds of credit tonight. When he came over to the Kings, John Purpich, the assistant coach, who spent some time in Washington, told us about Burridge. Unselfish player. He did not play in the first period, but he did not sulk. First man attack, Burridge strips the puck right here, but I think he got a little help. A little yell from John Drews. Initially, I do not think that Burridge saw John Drews. Same move here for Drews. He held on. He was very patient. Like I mentioned, I don't think Burridge spotted Drews initially, but you can always yell, and that's what John Drews did. The pass was right on his stick. Goes to the backhand. Now the Kings lead 4-1.
Drews gets his second of the game and 7th of the year. Here's a shot by Perreault, and it comes up into the crowd. And we'll have a face-off coming up. It's Drews, his 7th from Burridge at 10:41.
And you have to talk about him again, Bob. Again, the credit. A lot of players, if they don't play that much in the first period, at times you get a tendency to sulk. You sit on the bench, you look back at the coach and say, hey, get me on the ice. Randy Burridge didn't do that. What he did was come back with 3 assists. Great look at this one. You saw the quick move to the backhand by Drews, but it was Randy Burridge right off the bench, sustaining the forecheck, stripping the puck, and making a great pass, stick to stick.
Yannick Perreault out to take the draw. He's got an assist in the game tonight, just recalled from Phoenix. Faces off with Randy Gillen. So the Kings now with a 3-goal lead and 9 minutes left to go in the third period. Puck driven in by Gillen into the King zone. Petit over to try and get it. He can't. Here's Randy Gillen. Gillen down in deep. He's stopped by John Drews. Drews plays it off the boards and out to center ice. Chased down by Dave Manson. Manson pass up to center ice to Ty Domi. Domi to Chris King. Try to give it back to Domi. Perreault back to break it up. Now John Drews. Drews checked at center ice. Loose puck taken by Randy Gillen. Gillen drives it back behind the King net. It comes over to Sador. Sador in the corner. Gets it quickly up to Randy Burridge. Tipped away from him and back into the King zone. Kings have outshot the Winnipeg Jets 27-22. Petit sends it easily, and it rolls on in into the Winnipeg zone. And Stefan Quintal back to get it checked by Dan Quinn. Quinn behind the net. Quinn with it. He's got Tocchet in front. Couldn't get it to him. Gives it to Robert Long. Long still with it. Gives it to Tocchet. Tocchet left side. Winnipeg zone. Sends it into Quinn. Quinn in the corner. Drops it for Robert Long. Long checked by Quintal. Gets help from Tocchet. Tocchet had it tipped away, though, and the Winnipeg Jets with it. Neil Wilkinson takes his time and moves it up to center ice. Wilkinson across the line. He stick handles. Now about 3 Jets ahead of him had to pull up and stop at the blue line. And now the Kings in their own zone trying to move it out along the boards. Can't do it yet. Igor Korolev. Korolev right side. Dropped it back to Shannon. Up the middle here is Daryl Shannon in front. Loose puck. Kings get it off on the left side to Tocchet as Marty McSorley got it over to Tocchet. Korolev takes it away. Igor Korolev. Checked behind the net by Snell. Around in front, a shot hit the side of the net. The shot by Nelson Emerson, and it gets caught on the outside of the net.
Everyone's being so nice to me.
Honey, stay and watch the game. I'll go mow the lawn.
I mean, really nice.
Dad, I want to change my curfew from midnight to 11.
Too nice.
Everybody wants to be your friend because friends fly free on Southwest Airlines.
Hey, neighbor.
Make reservations and buy your round-trip ticket at our low, unrestricted fare.
Look, John, in my professional opinion, you're simply the nicest guy I've ever met. In fact, you're my favorite patient.
Friends fly free. Anywhere Southwest flies.
Once inside the new Accent, you will admire the intelligent sense of design. You'll appreciate the advanced dual airbag system. You'll applaud the roomy interior. And you'll adore the affordable price. The all-new Accent from Hyundai. Finally, high technology you can really get into. Now introductory priced at $8,079. Only at your Hyundai dealer.
2 goals on the night for John Druce, 7th goal of the season. So John Druce now moves into 2nd spot as far as goal scoring goes with the Los Angeles Kings. Rick Tocchet leads the Kings. Rick Tocchet scoring the 1st goal tonight for the Kings, his 12th for the season.
Quebec Nordiques won tonight. Joe Sakic, the game winner. Boy, what a year they're having. Their 17th win. They've got 37 points. Quebec Nordiques, number 1 overall in the NHL. They beat the Islanders tonight. Puck taken by Sador, throws it down in deep. Don't forget, you get the scores and all the highlights on the Times Sports press box every night. Puck comes up to center ice to Teemu Selanne. Selanne across the line and almost lost it. Held it right on the line, but then gave it away to Conacher. Over to Gretzky. Kings home next Thursday night against the St. Louis Blues, and there are tickets available for that game. Forum box office and all Ticketmaster outlets, and the Kings slap shot. Here's Tkachuk across the line, lost it there. Kings bring it to center. Yannick Perreault giving it to Druce. Druce right side, he's got 2 goals tonight. Druce tried to feed it to Perreault in front. It comes off the boards and taken by Dallas Drake. 6.5 minutes left to go in the 3rd period. Kings with a 4-1 lead over the Winnipeg Jets. A lot of room for Druce for the hat trick. Druce shoots, save, Javi Bulin. Loose puck just knocked loose by Perreault in front of Burridge, and he couldn't get a good shot. Boy, Druce had a lot of room on the right wing.
The Winnipeg Jets got caught in a change. They got caught with all the men on one side of the ice, and John Druce was wide open.
Ty Domi throws it deep in the King zone. Now Thomas Steen. Steen to Drake up the middle. Here's Stefan Quintal getting back in a hurry to check him was Burridge. And the puck taken by the Winnipeg Jets. Pass in front. Deflected off the skate of Rob Cowie out to center. It was Dallas Drake's pass that deflected off the skate back to the Winnipeg line. Kings with a 4-1 lead. 5:45 left to go in the 3rd period. Offside called against Winnipeg. Well, the youngster Yannick Perreault, leading the IHL in scoring, has an assist for the Kings tonight. And we ask him, what do you need to do to stay with the Kings team?
Well, first of all, every time you're coming up, you never know it could be your chance. That's why I'm very happy to be here, and I'm ready. I'm going to try to do what I'm doing best in the IHL. I don't want to change my style. I'm going to work hard and try to help the Kings to win some hockey games.
Yannick Perreault, 51 goals, 99 points in the International Hockey League to lead the league. And the Kings called him up. This is his first game in a King uniform in the regular season. He played in Toronto last year, 13 games, 3 goals, 3 assists.
And Bobby's doing the little things, just like Chris Schnell told me before the game. Yannick Perreault, yes, he is a goal scorer. Yes, he can put points on the board, but he's doing it well. Getting face-offs and winning them cleanly, getting back to help out. The forecheck working as well as it is for the Los Angeles Kings. That means everyone on the ice is working well together.
Perreault, 23 years old, 5'11", 182. He was Toronto's #1 draft pick in 1991. Here is Shannon to center ice. Sends it down into the Kings zone. Marty McSorley plays it there. Kings with it. Up to center ice. Dan Quinn. Quinn's got a goal tonight. He gets stopped. We've got 5:18 left to go, 3rd period. Kings with a 4-1 lead. Here's Dave Manson. Shooting save by Kelly Rudy, and he grabs it in the glove, then drops it down. Passes around to Quinn, but Quinn couldn't get to it. Jets hold it in. Darren Shannon up the middle to Nelson Emerson. Emerson got checked by Robert Long. Emerson with it again. Wrap around, knocked down by Cowie. Cleared up ahead. Kings may have a 2-on-1. Tocchet and Quinn. Tocchet on the right side. Tocchet shoots. It's deflected up into the crowd with 4:53 left to go in the 3rd.
Is getting there faster always the best way to get there? What if just once everyone in your family was going in the same direction? Why is it you forget your neighbor's name, but you remember that train ride you took when you were 5? And why do the simplest things, when seen from a train, fill us with wonder? There's something about a train that's magic.
You got the winning color.
I change the oil every 3,000 miles or so. I've always used Pennzoil. It's a quality product.
Now with the revolutionary Penn-Star molecule, Pennzoil clings to moving parts, works like liquid ball bearings.
It's showtime, baby! Play Pennzoil Sport to the Final Four. Winners up for 2 to the Final Four. 86,000 other prizes. Get details where you find Pennzoil. It'll be awesome, baby!
Buy a case of Pennzoil, win a trip to the Final Four. Details at Chief Auto Parts.
NBA basketball coming your way on Prime Sports Monday night at 7:30. Trash talking Reggie Miller and the Pacers come into town to play the Los Angeles Lakers. It all starts at 7 p.m. with Lakers tonight.
Right here with 4:53 left to go in the third period, the Kings have a 4-1 lead over the Winnipeg Jets. Both teams at full strength. Solani, his pass ahead to Tkachuk. He sends it in, gets his own rebound off the stick of Kelly Rudy. Tkachuk in the right corner. Lost it there to Conacher. Conacher hangs on. Kings have 29 shots of the game. The Winnipeg Jets have 23. The Kings looking for their 7th win of the year. Puck taken by Granato. He drives it into the Winnipeg zone. Here's Conacher along the boards. Check there as he gets help from Granato. Oleg Mikulchek ties Conacher up. Now here's Gretzky. Again, Yari Curry went off with a strained groin. Rob Blake has gone off with a strained groin in this game. So Conacher has moved up to replace Curry on the line with Gretzky and Granato. Kings with it. Petit, his pass, deflects to Randy Burridge. Burridge, left side. Burridge almost got tripped, maintained his balance, sends it in front off the stick of the goaltender, Javi Bulin. And the Jets, Tkachuk ices the puck. And Snell back to touch it. 3:42 to go in regulation. Kings lead it by 3.
Kings Hockey is brought to you by Amtrak, with over 500 destinations nationwide for you to choose from. And by Pennzoil, the motor oil that works like liquid ball bearings.
Harry Melrose over on the bench. His team ahead with 3:42 left to go in this third period. Kings have won only one time in the last 6 here in this building, but have never trailed tonight. McSorley sends it in deep toward Yannick Perreault. Perreault, Druce, and Burridge. This has been an outstanding line for the Kings in this game tonight. Druce with 2 goals, Burridge with 3 assists, Perreault with an assist. Here's Chris King. He tried to throw it down the corner, but it's batted away by Chris Snell, and out to center ice out of the reach of Burridge. 3:18 left in the third. Puck taken along the boards, right side by Burridge. Tipped away from him. Now a check thrown by Yannick Perreault, and Burridge with it for the Kings. Protects the puck. Nice pass to Druce. Druce for the hat trick. Can't get the good shot. Poke checked away by Javi Bulin. Back to center, Borsato over to Chris King. King across the line. Taken out by McSorley, and the Kings turn it around. Here's Perreault at center ice. Taken away from him by Ty Domi. McSorley and Domi meet at the blue line. Puck driven off the body of King. Chris King, left side, still with it. Stopped by McSorley. King's shot hit escape. Puck comes over to King again. King has Steen in front. Steen tips it off McSorley's body, and the puck taken by Dan Quinn. He heads it up to center ice, and Rick Tocchet fires it the rest of the way. 2:27 left to go here in the third period. Robert Long with it. Long to the blue line to Petit. Petit behind the net to Quinn. Quinn tried to give it in front to Long. Manson intercepts. Now Ty Domi with it. 15,255 the attendance here in Winnipeg tonight. 15,255. Kings clear it back into the Winnipeg zone. Manson back to get it. Don't forget, we'll be on Monday night live from Toronto. Kings of the Maple Leafs at 4:30. Here's Drake. He's got Domi in front alone. He scores! Ty Domi with 1:56 to go. The Kings still lead by 2.
Ty Domi driving to the net, Bob. The whole shift, Ty Domi was taking the man creating things. This time, good bit of stick work because Domi took that pass off his skate. Dallas Drake gets to the puck, and immediately he knew where he was going to go with it. He looked first, but it was quick feet and quick hands by Ty Domi. So the Winnipeg Jets, with 1:56 remaining in the third period, have not given up. Ty Domi with a great shift on the forecheck. He stayed on a little longer than everyone else, and he was there for that wide open chance.
So now Ty Domi gives the Jets somewhat of a chance if they can get another quick goal and then pull the goaltender. But the Kings have to hang on for 1:56 now. And off the draw, the puck comes back into the Winnipeg zone. Teppo Numminen back to get it. Now it comes up to center ice. Domi gets his third of the year. Dallas Drake with the assist at 18:04. Teppo Numminen also gave an assist to Thomas Steen, and for Steen, that ties the club record. Here's Gretzky, left side to Conacher. Conacher in deep. Conacher checked there. Granato with it now. Granato to Gretzky to the blue line to McSorley. McSorley shot wide and poked away by the goaltender Javi Bulin. Thomas Steen with that assist ties the club record by Dale Hawerchuk, 550 career assists. Puck taken by Tkachuk for Winnipeg. Coming down to 1 minute left to go in regulation. Pass tipped away at center by Gretzky. Pass to Gretzky just out of his reach as Conacher tried to give it to him. Less than a minute to go in the third period. The Jets down by 2. Kings with a 4-2 lead. Here's Manson with it. Kings trying to win 2 in a row for the first time in 52 games. It happened a year ago last month. Dallas Drake hit the goalpost. Rebound. Shot tipped wide by Sador. Dallas Drake hit the goalpost. The net is wide open with 35 seconds left in regulation. Empty net at the other end of the ice. Here's McSorley. Pass up the center ice. McSorley still with it. Gives it over to Burridge. Burridge can't get it. 25 seconds up to go, third period. Kings with a 2-goal lead. The Winnipeg net is wide open. They pulled the goaltender. The puck rolls off the boards toward the front of the net. Kelly Rudy got it. Solani with it now. Tipped away from him. 14 seconds up to go. Pass in front. Save on Dallas Drake shot. Puck taken by the Jets. 10 seconds left. Kings with a 2-goal lead. Left side. Darren Shannon shooting. Blocked. Daryl Shannon, backhander, blocked by McSorley. 1 second to go. Solani shoots, and the game is over. And for the first time in 52 games, the Kings have won 2 in a row as they win it here tonight, 4-2 for their 7th win of the year and their 5th win of the year on the road. 4-2 Kings. They never trailed in the game tonight. They outshot the Winnipeg Jets 30-24. And there's the final score. The Kings 4, the Winnipeg Jets 2. Now for a press box preview, let's go and join Glenn Walker. Glenn?
Lightning for getting a hold of those rebounds and clearing the zone.
Ducks about to pull the Statue of Liberty play. All alone on the left wing is Paul Correa. Nobody's on him. Draw intended to perhaps free Correa up, and it's chopped into the corner. Correa blows around Petit, but Petit recovers in time to clear it up the boards as it's lofted high in the air. Time winds down on the Ducks. Tavernowski looks up. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and this one belongs to Tampa Bay.
Well, it was a game effort, especially in the last couple of minutes, to try and come back and tie up this hockey game. But J.C. Bergeron throws his first victory of the season against the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Pretty tough to win on the road when you only score 1 goal.